Alright, we got a video made about the attack from Iran on Israel. I think it's gonna highlight some of the cost and shit like that, dude. Israel has transferred 2 million to Ukraine fraudsters to maintain Iron Dome. Lol, dude. Ukraine tricked the Israelis, click lang. That's so funny, dude. That's so funny. The Israelis were tricked by Ukraine, dude. $2 billion. Defrauded, dude. Defrauded, dude. We got the State Department spokesman Matthew Miller about America shooting down Russian missiles.
I think it is important to note the context that we have an entirely different relationship with Ukraine and Israel.
We know. You don't really care about Ukraine. You're just abusing them.
In that our relationship with Israel goes back decades, and in terms of a security partnership, we have had a decades-long.
Israel is paying you. Ukraine is not.
Long security partnership with Israel, where we have been providing them direct military aid, not just going back 2 years of a conflict, but for decades, and have had long, broad-standing communications between our military and the Israeli military that goes back decades.
You said that already, dude. Matthew Miller.
Ally of the United States. Ukraine is just in a different position in that we did not have that kind of agreement with them prior to the immediate months before this conflict. But what you have seen us do since this conflict is provide them with the equipment they need to defend themselves.
Hey, Cat Cube. How are you doing, man?
And that includes, of course, air defense systems, Patriot systems, and other air defense systems that we have either provided the Ukrainian military ourselves, or we have sourced from other partner and ally countries around the world so they can defend themselves. And much of the reason that they have been able to successfully defend themselves against barrage after barrage after barrage of Russian attacks is because of those air defense systems that we have provided. Now, that said, you're right that we are not in armed military conflict with Russia, which is what it would require for U.S. planes to be in the skies over Ukraine engaging with Russian attacks. And we are not going to be in direct armed conflict with Russia. The President of the United States has made that very clear. I think it's in the interest of the American people that we not be in direct armed conflict between the United States and Russia.
All right, we got it, dude. We fucking got it. You know what? There's an interview that I want to play. We got the interview with the Telegram founder. This is an interview with Tucker Carlson and Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram. I listened to it very briefly. It's in English, obviously. Yeah. Take a look at the chairs, dude. Take a look at this.
We get too much attention.
What is this click log? What's going on in the background, dude?
From the FBI, the security agencies, wherever we came to the US.
It's loading.
So to give you an example, last time I was in the US, I brought an engineer that is working for Telegram.
Come on, dude. Stop buffering. I just paused it while it's buffering.
And there was an attempt to secretly hire my engineer behind my back by cybersecurity officers or agents, wherever they are called.
The US government should hire your engineer?
Lol, dude. Lol, America. Yes. And I think these are dicks, right? And that's some shit too. Something is going on with the background here. Click look.
That's my understanding. That's what he told me.
To write code for them or to
like be a fucking informant, dude.
break into Telegram?
They were curious to learn which open source libraries are integrated to the Telegram's app.
If they know which open source frameworks they use, they might have like backdoors or like leaks or something like that, dude.
On the client side, and they were trying to persuade him to use certain open source tools that he would then integrate into the Telegram's code that, in my understanding, would serve as backdoors.
Do you know what's funny? If the American spy agencies try to get the developer to integrate open source libraries into the application, that means that they have talked to him quite a lot, dude. It wasn't just like one meeting. It was like a well-established relationship already.
Would allow the US government to spy on people who use Telegram?
The US government, or maybe any other government, because a backdoor is a backdoor regardless of who is using it.
That's right.
And
that's a little surprising to hear. Maybe it's not surprising, it's offensive. You're confident that happened?
yes, there is no reason for my engineer to make up the stories. Also because I personally experienced similar pressure in the US. Whenever I would go to the US, I would have two FBI agents greeting me at the airport, asking questions. One time I was having my breakfast at like 9 a.m. and the FBI showed up at my house that I was renting. And that was quite surprising. And I thought, we're getting too much attention here. It's probably not the best environment to run.
Why would had you committed a crime?
No, they were interested to learn more about Telegram. They knew I, left Russia.
What, dude?
They knew what we were doing, but they wanted details. And my understanding is that they wanted to establish a relationship to, in a way, control Telegram better. I understand that they were doing their job. It's just that for us running a
It's not really their job, dude. It's supposed to be a free market.
privacy-focused social media platform, that probably wasn't the best environment to be in. We want to be focused on what we do, not on government relations of that sort.
Government relations. So then you came to UAE, to Dubai.
Yes.
How often do you intersect with the National Security Agency, NSA? And I ask that as someone whose texts were read by them. So I know that they're very active in this world. What's your experience been?
Well, I think the NSA is not an agency that works with you directly, right? You're not coming here.
You're so diplomatic. I love it. The NSA is not an agency that works with you directly. No, that is true. That is true.
So my knowledge of my interactions with the NSA is very limited.
Yes.
I could read something in the newspapers about, my phone being penetrated with Pegasus or something like that. I have no idea whether it's true or not, but this is the only source of information I can have about me personally being of interest to any of the secret agencies.
But you've got to think, even though you haven't done an interview in 7 years-ish, it's widely known by people who are interested who you are and your role in this. I mean, you've got to think you're under just crazy amounts of surveillance, wouldn't you think?
That's probably true. It would sound funny, but
I definitely think the application is under surveillance.
I assume by default that the devices I use are compromised.
Yes.
Because you will still use an iPhone or an Android phone, and after experiencing what I experienced in the US, I have very limited faith in platforms developed in the US from a security standpoint.
Yes, privacy standpoint.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because in a lot of countries, ours, America included, spying is described as, quote, security. You're looking at it from the other perspective. You're assuming that security is privacy and my right not to be spied upon, but big governments describe spying upon you as security.
Thank you for this correction.
So last question, since you've done this since you were in college and you've been at the center of it, where do you see it going? And by this, I mean the free exchange, the private exchange of information between sovereign individuals, human beings, non-slaves. When I was a child, that was possible. It's increasingly difficult. Are we moving toward a world where there just is no private communication? Or do you think that privacy will remain despite, say, AI or just massive increases in computing power?
Well, this depends on the extent of privacy. When you say privacy will remain, do you mean that we have absolute privacy now?
I don't think that we do, and I think the world is becoming less amenable. Governments becoming less tolerant of privacy, and that's clearly the trend because they have more technological power. But will they win? I guess, will there ever be a way to preserve privacy? Is there a place for it?
I believe in that. I'm an optimist. I think some new secure hardware, communication devices will be created in a similar way that now we have hardware wallets to store your cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Maybe we'll have secure communication devices, to send messages or do voice calls. It's possible.
Security is only going to go down, dude. But privacy is going to go down. Hey, Salman, how are you doing?
I do believe that, the world develops in cycles.
We have a kind of good weather, okay. By that I mean it's sunny, but it's still like low degrees. It's like 4 degrees.
And if things seem to go in one direction today, doesn't mean that tomorrow they will go the same direction. I also feel that at some point people will get tired of what they experience today, and they would decide to move.
Hey Frank, how are you doing, man?
To some other direction. So I seen it after COVID, for example. So during COVID, you had a lot of restrictions. Also on social media platforms. On most social media platforms, you were not really allowed to express doubt in relation to.
That's what I do. A lot of censorship on the social platforms, all of them.
Lockdowns, vaccines, masks.
Hey, it's been a while, dude.
And at some point, I could feel like the sentiment changed. People started to feel very, very tired and sometimes angry with the fact that they were not allowed to express their opinions. Particularly after the end of the pandemic, a lot of people started to be even more skeptical about the restrictions in their freedoms that they experienced during the pandemic.
What was your position as a business owner during COVID? You must have come under pressure to censor opinions on lockdowns, vaccines, masking. How did you respond?
So our position is pretty straightforward. We're a neutral platform. We were helping governments to spread their message about the lockdowns and masks and vaccines. We had dozens of governments who we really helped disseminate their information. But we also didn't want to restrict the voices that were critical of all these measures. We thought it made sense for these opposing views to collide and hopefully see some truth come out of those debates. And of course, we got criticized for that. But looking back, I think it was the right strategy.
So you allowed people to voice doubts about the so-called science throughout the experience?
Exactly. During the pandemic, I think we're one of the few, or maybe the only major social media platform
I think so too.
Didn't take down accounts that were skeptical in relation.
You got the accounts being taken down on all major platforms in the West, dude. For all sorts of nonsense.
To some of these measures.
So why are you not famous and treated as a hero in the United States? Shouldn't there be a parade in your honor? If you're the only social media platform not to take down what turned out to be true, or to some extent true, certainly more true than the CDC guidance. I mean, why weren't you Times Man of the Year? Why isn't your face on the?
That was Navalny or Zelensky or.
I'm not an expert.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson.
The laugh, dude. Fucking laugh. We got Okay, I'll wait for that, dude. So what is this? Every day is another step towards the revival of Donbass. With the collective efforts of the entire country, cities and districts are being restored, production is being established, and advanced technologies are being implemented. So we got mineral mining in Donbass, banking system being restored, dude. I hear there's a lot of resources actually in Donbass. The development of quarries that have been mothballed for a long time has begun. Metallurgical capacities are being increased. The financial sector is developed rapidly, with new bank branches opening in the Republic and lending programs expanding. Nice, boys. Nice. Something like this would never happen on the Ukraine, by the way. Take a look at this. I'm not sure I can show this fucking video, because it's Kanye West and he's saying the N-word, dude. But this is a video. What he's saying is that P. Diddy is the Fed. I'm not gonna play the video, but he's saying that P. Diddy is a Fed. Okay? Symbolic. This is from China, dude. This is from China. China's semiconductor output jumps 40% in the first quarter amid growing dominance in legacy chips. Nice one, China. This is from Belarus. Very cool, boys. This is an unmanned Belarusian tractor. Very cool. America has nothing like this, dude. I think like that's super cool, dude. So we got a Twitter post there. This is, I don't know who this guy is, but he's gonna talk about what happened at the airbase, the WW3 airbase, supposedly. There's a bunch of analysts who's been talking about this. And I saved all of them just to see what happened, dude, because this guy's making some statements. So we'll go through it, dude. So every ballistic missile that landed in Nevatim and Ramon airbase hit their intended target. And that's true, dude. There's no interceptions. But for some reason, they evidently carefully avoided hitting obvious high-priority targets, such as the 50 odd hardened shelters and ammunition remnants. So I'm not sure if that's by design, dude, but what he's trying to imply is that Iran purposefully chose soft targets. So to send a signal, dude. So he's saying there's a confirmed hit on a guard tower, 2 ground vehicles, repair depot, transportation aircraft, maintenance facilities. Probably where the C-130 was dinged up. 1 transport aircraft, so that's okay. And they dropped a ballistic missile on the top of a base office, a swimming pool, recreational center. You can see the screenshot close-ups. A fucking pool, dude. That's not that interesting, dude. We're gonna move on. So yesterday, there was an attack on Chernigov. I think it was an attack on a hotel. We'll come back to what exactly it was. So this is the place that was attacked yesterday. Ukraine said a bunch of civilians died there. That's not true. It's all foreign mercenaries and AFU fighters. And I got proof of that. And even Ukraine themselves eventually admitted it. So this is the attack. You can see there's already been one arrival, dude. And then there's another arrival coming. So you had multiple arrivals. That's so that was an incident that happened yesterday. Ukraine said civilians died. Not true. We'll go through that. I got more videos from that particular event, and I'll go through them. Hey, Big Bad Boom. How you doing? More from Ramon airbase. Still very low quality. 5 targets. So this is the same. This is a satellite image of the Ramon airbase. It was attacked by the Iranian ballistics. The affected objects were 2 hangars for the repair of ground equipment, a maintenance station for transport aircraft, an officer recreation center, and presumably a guard tower. So that's again kind of repeating what the other tweet said. Okay. This one is saying Ramon, not Nevatim. We're gonna move on. So stop the war instead of bombing Yemen. This is a British journalist, embarrassing Sky News presenter.
Dr. Francois, I mean, there are many who are saying that, frankly, the Biden administration should have acted sooner and faster, that hundreds of billions of dollars has been put at risk because the Houthis have held this area in the Red Sea at ransom.
Sorry, so just let me get this straight, Yelda. So we are bombing one of the poorest countries in the world that has been under a humanitarian blockade. There has been famine. These people have been decimated. And we are bombing them because a couple of guys in dinghies in support for the Palestinians who are having a genocide committed against them. They're objecting to that, and we're bombing them. Come on now. I mean, this is just an insane world for us to even think. I'm so sorry your Amazon packages are delayed. I really am. Like, I wish mine came on time. But, you know, genocide, guys, genocide. There are 2 mothers a day dying in Gaza right now. It's 109 days into a conflict in which a humanitarian crisis has been declared.
They said they would, but they haven't.
To the world, day
by
in,
the way,
day out.
By the way, Dr. Francois, there are many who are Yemen watchers who monitor and follow the Houthis who say this is doing wonders for their branding, actually, that it isn't just the Palestinian cause
Ending what?
that they're focused on.
So
that
call a
this is-
ceasefire now and end the positive branding.
What? Is the Houthis like branding themselves, dude? How pathetic, dude. If they were, they could just have done this without the Gaza's genocide.
If you want to stop the Houthis doing what they're doing, then call a
Do you genuinely
ceasefire
believe
right
that
now.
the Houthis would stop doing what they're doing? If
They have literally said that that's why they're doing what they're doing. They have not previously blocked those routes for any other reason except this one. So yes, I do. And I also think the West needs to
Fucking frauds, dude.
start to understand that you cannot just go around playing cowboys in the world. There are consequences to your actions. You cannot just go around bombing people's countries, ignoring international law and expect no repercussions. For every cause, there is a consequence. And just because you don't like a couple of guys trying to resist,
I mean, these
the fact
are
that this is
now prescribed terrorists. The
sure,
Houthis.
according to Western governments,
Well,
they are
also
terrorist
according to the
governments,
Yemeni people, because
yeah,
they've
which is a
obviously
Saudi-backed government,
Yeah.
which is essentially our.
But the Yemenis who live, under Houthi rule talk about the fact that this group continues to terrorize them as well.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm no fan of the Houthis, apart from when they're blockading in favor of a ceasefire, which should have been called a long time ago. 55,000 people are dead in Gaza right now.
She's
There
doing
are
good,
over
dude.
60,000 people injured with no access to
She's
food,
doing good.
water, aid. How dare we have a conversation about trade when there are children right now being treated without anesthetic?
Well, the
there
fact
are
is
things
that-
that require us to make some sacrifices, and this would be one of them.
They do have the global economy, global markets hostage.
Good for them.
Yes, very good for them, dude. You know what America should do? They should just undo the blockade, dude.
Bill Browder.
Good for them. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
We're going to have to leave it there. But Dr. Miriam
You
Francois,
cannot allow these people to be decimated and expect there to be no consequences.
I think
Good for them, dude. Oh, I got something here about Russell Bentley, dude. So there's like an appeal of Russell Bentley, Combat in Arms. So I haven't seen this. It's 6 minutes.
Здравствуйте. Меня зовут Василий, позывной Теркин. Многие меня знают и со мной служили.
Remember, Russell Bentley is still missing. It's been like 10 days now or something.
По другим позывными. Мое видеообращение в данный момент тревожное. По поводу одного человека. Его зовут Рассел Боннер Бентли, позывной Техас. Человек, который приехал в 2014 году в Донбасс защищать жителей Донбасса. В идейных соображениях человек является идейным коммунистом. Жизнь в Соединенных Штатах у него не складывалась из-за его идей, из-за его высказываний и мнений. Он всегда мечтал приехать в Россию, жить и быть русским. Горе, которое случилось в Донецкой Народной Республике в 2014 году, сподвигло его на этот поступок, оставив родину, близких друзей. Он приехал в Донбасс для того, чтобы защищать жителей Донецкой Народной Республики. Воевал в боях за Донецкий аэропорт. До 18 года был в строю, несмотря на свой возраст. Ему было 55 в 14. Сейчас ему 65 будет, 20 июня. С 18 года очень много помогал ребятам на фронте, очень многие знают. Коренные местные жители Донецка его многие знают и уважают. Много помогал детским домам, адресной помощи людям. Я лично неоднократно этому свидетель. Я много был вместе с ним и в боях, и в помощи людям. Вот наша общая фотография. Донецкий аэропорт. Внизу Саур-могила, это на мой день рождения, в 2019 году мы ездили на Саур-могилу. Тут как бы написано сзади. Так, в общем, к чему я виду и что я хочу сказать. 8 апреля 2024 года Рассел Бентли с позывным «Техас» был задержан в центре города Донецк людьми, которые относятся к танковой, нам известной.
Tank brigade. Clicklock. Can you tell us about this tank brigade?
Бригаде. Известно кто, 3 людьми. Старший из них, командир, зовут Виталий. Далее, по известным соображениям, полные данные говорить на видео не буду. Но известно, кто они, что они, где они. Ими сейчас занимается Следственный комитет. Допрашивает. 8 апреля 2024 года Рассел Бентли был задержан, я повторюсь. Как...
A tank brigade. Okay. Didn't they say which number it was, Toms? It's just weird, Toms. Do you think they had like a beef or something? But it's sure is some beef though if they just fucking kidnapped him for 10 days, dude.
Удалось выяснить за то, что он снимал прилет Хаммерса в центре Донецка. Мое обращение, опять же, все, кто знает, поддержите меня. Все, кто меня узнает в этом интервью, меня знают многие. Мое обращение, значит, к тем людям, которые задержали его. И, ребята, если вы превысили полномочия и сильно повредили, это война. Он сам воевал неоднократно, не одну войну. Мы все это понимаем. Никаких обид ни на кого не будет. Поэтому я вас прошу. По добру, по здорову отпустите, пожалуйста, человека домой. Так как он человек не последний, за него включились очень многие серьезные люди. И ежели, не дай бог, с ним случилось что-то непоправимое, вам это никогда не простят. Вас будут искать и преследовать всегда.
They said that the investigative committee is already interrogating the command of this tank brigade, yes. This is weird, Clicklock. This is fucking weird, dude.
Ну а так все понимаем, война. Поломали, перегнули палку, всякое бывает. Ничего страшного. У меня 10 лет фронта, я всякое видал, и он тоже. Второе. Если он был задержан в связи с родом своей деятельности, род его деятельности абсолютно открыт, он выложен в Телеграме и во многих видеосъемках, в передаче, снятые про него вместе с ним, с участием его. Это он опубликовывает то, что происходит на Донбассе, эти обстрелы, попадания, точные попадания по адресам людей, которые никакого отношения не имеют ни к фронту, ни рядом, ну, абсолютно гражданскому. Он это освещает. Я понимаю, что всегда момент боевых действий, потому что у меня как бы опыт есть по этому поводу. Есть отдел пропаганды, который работает в спецслужбах. Правильно, что он работает, он должен работать. Поэтому, если связано его задержание с этим, большая просьба к ребятам из этих органов, оповестите самого близкого для него человека под обязательство, под подписку о неразглашении, чтобы она спала спокойно, понимала, что все с ним в порядке. Далее проверяйте, что хотите, он человек честный и достойный. Ничего за ним нет. Какой гостайну никогда к ней не имел никакого допуска, никогда не знал. Он всю жизнь пехотинцем сами просидел в окопах. Подытожив свой разговор, опять же, человека этого я знаю очень много лет, знаю с большой стороны, доброту его сердца.
I don't think it's mistaken identity. He's fucking American in Donetsk, dude. When he was detained, he apparently said, bro. I don't think it's mistaken identity, dude.
И смелость его характера. Большая просьба к тем, кто ведет это следствие, кто относится так или иначе к исчезновению этого человека. Большая просьба посодействовать о его скорейшем возвращении домой. Тем, кто через интернет это видео увидит и будет стебаться над этим, смеяться в том плане, что получил свое, типа нашей 5-й колонны, там, пидоры 2.
condemn bad words.
Рот закройте сразу, и до вас доберемся рано или поздно. Над вашими трупами никто не смеется, мы их хороним. У меня все. Все, кто узнал, братцы, сила и честь, поможем Техасу.
Maybe there was like a beef. They had like a brawl or something. I don't know. Very weird, dude. Very weird, dude. So bizarre. If they thought he was a spy, the investigative committee would go to the people. They would say, yeah, we thought he was a baddie. And I mean, I'm not sure, dude. I think there was like a beef, or maybe at some pubs at some time or something. I don't know. And these people were just like nuts, angry. It doesn't. Starting to think it doesn't look good, dude, because having someone detained for 10 days, dude, that's a lot. He hasn't been on the front line for a while, though. Revealed Israel has sped up settlement building in East Jerusalem since Gaza war began. You don't say, dude. Where is Israel? Israel's government has accelerated the construction of settlements across East Jerusalem with more than 20 projects totaling thousands of housing units, having approved or advanced since the start of the war in Gaza 6 months ago. Israel just became more illegal, dude. Ukraine is heading for defeat. Remember they used to say Ukraine was winning, dude? Morale among military personnel is depressed by relentless bombing, lack of modern weapons, and losses on battlefield. Currently, potential recruits are dodging conscription and instead spending the afternoon in nightclubs. Many left the country altogether. Concerns about the fragility of the front line are only exacerbated by an unprecedented barrage of Russian attacks aimed at crippling Ukrainian power grids. An estimated 650,000 military-aged men have fled their country, most of them secretly across the border. 4 weeks have passed since the artillery unit last fired a shell. What, dude? 4 weeks has passed since the artillery units last fired a shell. Ukraine can file an international court case against America for the fact that, in fact, they disarmed the country, but they do not provide protection or help. Do something, Salman. This is the head of the IAEA. Impossibility of naming those responsible for the attacks in Zaporozhye. What? It's Ukraine. You can just say it's Ukraine, dude. You can just say it's Ukraine. You don't have to protect the perpetrator, dude. You don't have to do that. I think someone got excited and judging by the video, Bentley filmed the result of the HIMARS arrival in Donetsk. Perhaps he was mistaken for a Ukrainian spy. If the IEC is doing this, it means the authorities are aware. Perhaps we have already lost Russell. I wouldn't want to, but such a possibility exists. 10 days is enough time to find out everything and release Russell. Yes. So there was a HIMARS. Russia went that film. They thought that he was a Ukrainian spy filming their results because he was so quick and because he was a foreigner. They might not have known. Russell. They might have known Russell. So they're like suspicious of every foreigner. That's bad, dude, because if that's the case, ClickLock, then he's most likely dead, dude. And it's just dead by mistake. Maybe you're right, Toms. Okay, so you guys remember the Iraqi victims that was tortured by the Americans in prisons, right? There's people getting electrocuted with hood on their head. I'm not going to show the footage. But you all know what I mean, right? The Iraqi torture victims, right? Justice delayed and justice denied. An American human rights lawyer, Dan Kovalik, described the latest development in the Abu Ghraib case. 3 Iraqi victims were finally given their day in court on Monday after waiting for nearly 2 decades regarding human rights abuse at the Abu Ghraib prison near Baghdad. Ultimately, photos were exposed of prisoners stripped naked. People they would make a pyramid of naked prisoners. And then the soldiers would, take selfies in front of that. And people who were stood on the pedestal and made at least believe that they would hooked up electric shocks. And dogs were also sicked on people. And people's families were threatened. And people were sexually abused, the human rights lawyer told Sputnik. 11 low-ranking US soldiers were convicted and jailed for their roles in the Abu Ghraib torture scandal. Former President Barack Obama had promised to investigate and potentially prosecute any officials responsible for the torture, but failed to do so. Torture has been part of CIA's program since the inception, said Kovalik. When asked about the lack of accountability, there are still CIA black sites around the world where people are being tortured as we speak, and this is all part of the US attempt to rule the world as part of the dehumanizing people. The US takes the position that the US has immunity in the world. It is not a party of the Rome Statute. It's an international in the ICC. It says it's not even subject to jurisdiction of the ICJ. It does not want justice for its crimes, particularly those committed abroad, and I don't think you're going to see justice anytime soon, he emphasized. Okay. Look, boys. Is this a model, dude? No, it's a real one. Russia has created a multi-purpose transport robot to evacuate wounded from the battlefield. We have not seen this in action. We've seen other ones in action, but not this. Okay. We got military parades in Iran. Remember, I showed you movement of weapons in Iran 2 days ago. The movements of weapons in Iran was for this purpose. So the movements of anti-air defense and ballistics we saw a few days ago were not in relation to a possible Israeli response. It was all about this. So Iran is probably already in position. Hey, Lynx.
فرماندهی انتظامی استان خراسان رضوی از مقابل جایگاه هستیم. خوشا به دلاور جلوی جایگاه هستیم. مدافعان و علمداران امروز جانشینان شهدا و غیور مردان دفاع دیروزند. سپر سینه ها
Thank you, Short. There's a few other videos. You don't want to watch all of it, dude. But there's the parade. Okay. We got a Ukrainian lady here pointing out the future of Ukraine under the new conscription laws approved by Zelensky. Only the wealthy, the police, and some clowns will remain in Ukraine. Every other common Ukrainian, the poor ones, will either be sent to the meat grinder or will run away to Europe.
Державою найбагатіших людей у світі. Навіть Швейцарія і Англія зі своєю кількістю мільйонерів і мільярдерів буде нервово курити в сторонці. Чому? Ну ти зараз уявив своє багате життя, багатим ти не будеш. ти будеш тільки біднішити, якщо ти взагалі будеш, і якщо ти взагалі залишишся. А в чому ж тоді секрет? А його просто нема. Просто не залишиться бідного населення. Просто не залишиться середнього класу. Залишиться тільки багатії, клоуни і поліція. А долю інших ви знаєте самі.
Do you think Israel might be scared of retaliation? Yes, I do. But don't want to admit it, of course. So they're exploiting the collective West to hold them back. The thing about it is that Israel has said they're gonna retaliate. Israel has said they're going to retaliate. They can't run away from that, dude. They're gonna have to do something, Toms. I don't know, dude. Maybe they're gonna hack some bullshit or attack something outside Iran. They will do something. There's no way, dude. There's no way. Look, cute. Very cute. But I definitely think they are afraid, dude. And that they should be. Hey, tabula rasa. We also saw some Western countries sending more weapons to the Middle East. In theory, Israel can just attack Iran and then they can take the hit. Right, then they can take the hit and get partially destroyed. Fine, whatever. And then eventually the West will have to come in and help them. Israel said they would respond. They said they would go do it on Monday, but they decided not to. So what are they gonna... They are gonna respond in some way, I'm fucking certain, dude. There's no way. Because it's super embarrassing for Israel to say, yeah, we're gonna retaliate and then do it. They could just not have said anything. It would have been better for Israel not to just... No, don't say anything, dude. Don't say anything. But they just had to say something, right? But when they retaliate, we're gonna see the airspace closing, so we will know. We haven't seen any news about retaliation for 2 days. 3 days, 2 days. Yeah, but they always... If they act tough and they don't follow through, then they just... These people are... I feel like they're like a super sensitive bully, you know? So they're gonna have to follow through in some regard. It could be like a cyber attack or something. Something useless. What were you asking with that? Oh, the Iranian raid. I can send ClickLock the link. They don't need anything to have an excuse. So both America and Israel don't need anything. If they want a war with Iran, they gotta. So that means if they're not responding, right? That means America don't want a war with Iran. Never, but they will never want it. It's all just words, too. PPG, you say that, dude, but then when they're in the stream, just like, oh, please, I like you. Always with the phony stuff, PPG, and then you're rating Kairos, dude. Oh, I hate Kairos, and then you rate him. Nice one. Always with the phony stuff, PPG, dude. Did you see what Lesbian said? Oh, people are forgetting that there's Nazis in Russia. But typical fucking fake fraud, dude. By the way, is she lesbian? I don't know. I can't tell, dude. And it's so important that I just need to know. It's the first thing I wonder about, dude. Is she a lesbian? Very cool, Clicklock. Clicklock. Regarding... There you go. We got Victor Orban, dude. Look at these colors. I think it matches. So Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban says his current leadership of the European Union should resign. We have a European Union leadership with several major projects of its own choosing, such as the green transition, sustainable development policy, migration military, and sanction policy, and they have all failed. The current EU leadership must go, and we need a new leader. We need new leaders. And there it is, boys. There it is. This is in Chernihiv or Chernihiv, whatever, where the Iskander missile hit the Povstoynoye Hotel. The command center of the AFU Operational Command North was destroyed, which is this one. There's 2 arrivals in this place, at least. And look, this is one of the casualties from the place. Okay? And you can see that's a military outfit. Ukraine was saying, and the West was saying that's civilians, but we can clearly see that it's not civilians. We know better. The experts are finally admitting that Russia is winning the war in Ukraine, but they're still lying about why. The reason is not congressional inaction over further funding. The reason is that Russia has more manpower than Ukraine. It produces more artillery than the West, and it has superiority. Russia has been using its air power to devastate Ukrainian infrastructure and military positions with enormous fab bombs. The US doesn't produce enough air defense to change the reality, especially in light of all the competing demands for all the supply. Limited supply. In any event, what will happen now is that Ukraine's funding bill will pass, but it won't change the outcome of the war. But it will do in line a lot of pockets, perhaps for the final time, which is the real objective here. Agreed, dude. Turbo. Turbo, thank you for the gift, dude. Turbo, I'm still fucking disappointed, dude. I'm still fucking disappointed, Turbo. In Turbo, when you were doing on Discord with PPG, just like completely fucking underperformed, dude. Now he's trying to make up for it with a gifted sub. I don't believe you, PPG. I don't believe you, dude. What do you mean, Turbo? What do you mean? I like actually Admiral Gibbs and Wrinkly Beef. These 2 were perfect, dude. And I agree with everything they said. I agree with everything they said. PPG, what are you talking about, dude? No, they were perfect, dude. There's something I needed to do. I'm gonna go on your... Where are you, PPG? PPG, can you make me admin on the Discord? PPG, make me admin on the Discord, dude. I need to post something. Turbo, can you post this picture to Rodent Fort somewhere? At barrel cost, there's no way or even have a tiny bit of discussion. Who cares about discussions, Turbo? It's not about that, dude. It's not about that at all, dude. Just speak. You just have to interrupt, dude. You could interrupt just fine when it wasn't them. Police in Kiev are following the president's example. By the way, PPG, you sent aid to these folks, dude. That's where your aid went. PPG, that was your fucking aid, dude. Politico citing American Ukrainian official reports that Kiev has no chance of winning without sending the entire population of the country to the front. So until the last Ukrainian dude. What's this? There's not enough money for the Czech initiative on shells for Ukraine. The Czech Republic. Irolas writes about this with reference to Estonian Defense Minister Hanna Pevkur. In addition, according to him, the proposed shells need to be tested. So some of them may not reach the front before the end of this year. That's not looking good, boys. That's not looking good at all. Chasavjam. Chasavjam. Fouls, PPG. Roden is just another fraud, dude. Roden is just another fraud. These are fabs, nematode. This is the reason. This is the latest reason why Ukraine is losing. Because Russia is bombarding the front line with fabs. Glide bombs, dump bombs. Very cheap to produce. Sometimes these cities are bombed like 200 times a day. And could you imagine using a Patriot for these? You can't do. So America produces like 550 Patriots a year. Russia bombs a city like this 200 times a day. That's the disparity in production. Very big disparity, dude. This is Ramon Air Base. We showed this earlier. So this is about the guard tower and shit like that. 2 hangars, maintenance station for transport aircraft, and officer evacuation center. And a guard tower was hit. There's also reports about some high value targets. Radar electronic surveillance station was hit in the Golan Heights. We saw what was hit in the Golan Heights. We didn't see what was hit, but we saw there was an arrival in the Golan Heights. And we saw that Israel imposed a media ban on what was hit in the Golan Heights. These guys are saying it was an HQ, all radar electronic surveillance stations. Neither of which doesn't tell us much, dude. These small European countries like the Baltic states and the Czech do not have their own tanks and shells because they are poor, but they have their fucking opinion about tanks and shells that no one needs. Something is happening in Karabakh, you know, the region in Armenia that went over to Azerbaijani control. So we got Russian peacekeeper equipment moving out of that region because Armenia just handed it over to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is Mossad. Armenia is controlled by the West. It's all a weird situation there, dude, because Armenia used to be like anti-West essentially until they installed a prime minister that was pro-West, and now Armenia is falling apart. Which is the typical sign of being pro-West, dude. It's this Chernihiv. In the Chernihiv Hotel Profesnoya, at the time of the strike, there was a meeting of the leadership of OK North at the Armed Force of Ukraine, with the participation of Lieutenant Colonel Dmitry Krasnikov, who holds or held the position of commander of the group of troops in this direction. A number of sources report that he continues to hold a meeting with Bandera, but there's no exact information yet. So it's this place that was hit yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. As a result of a missile strike on the hotel, a large number of military personnel died. There are also many wounded. Large number of confirmed by the Nazi Muslishuk. They are now urgently collecting blood for them. There's a hunt for Chernigoff for agents who gave up the location of the meeting. Oh no, dude. Oh no. Look, this is a grenade that is being dropped by a supposed weather balloon. Ukraine has started deploying weather balloons. They deploy them into Russian territory, not military frontline, but Belgorod, for instance. Right? And then they drop grenades on civilians. This is not the first time we see this. It's the second time. But I'm sure it happens more than just twice, but I've seen it a few times at least. So they try to disguise it as a weather balloon, but obviously it's not. Why Iran's strike is a big deal. We saw this a few days ago, but just to reiterate,
strike is such a big deal. First and most importantly, Iran proved that Israel's air defenses are ineffective.
Yeah, they got THAAD, David Sling, Patriot, Iron Dome. That's 4 air defense systems, right? That Iran penetrated with ease.
Iran landed dozens of hits, maybe more, during their strike on Israel. 5 of these strikes hit the Nevatim airbase where the vaunted F-35s operate from. The damage was minimal. In fact,
this video was posted by Israel as a way to diminish the impact. Obviously, this is not the totality of the strike. Hellbitzer. This is a way for Israel to make sure, we were not attacked, dude. By the way, have you seen Israel post like Israel before and after Iran attack, and then you see like a city standing intact, dude? So it's so dumb. Israel is like, oh, no civilian target was hit, dude.
Israelis have already repaired the damaged runway, but it's
I told you, damaging a runway is useless.
not about the damage, it's about the fact that Iran was able to hit it at all. Because the F-35 is the most expensive and valuable fighter jet in Israel's Air Force, the Nevatim Air Base is protected by the very best of Israel's air defenses, including an advanced US radar system known as the TPY-2 X-band radar. This is a
I don't know about that one, but that is.
powerful radar that detects incoming ballistic missiles and passes the target data to air defense
Oh, it's a radar system that then can be used to fucking defend system. Fine.
systems. Raytheon claims that TPY-2 has a flawless record performance.
Lol, dude. Lol. Typical, dude. Where's combat? Where's combat?
But Irani missiles, which aren't even the most powerful in its arsenal, made
These missiles that the Iranian were using was not using MARV. This is like a low maneuverability where it avoids radar. They were not using that.
it through anyway. The message Iran sent was clear. If we can hit Nevatim, we can hit anything. Tread carefully. Second, it's estimated that Iran spent $30 to $50 million on their missile strike. Israel spent at least $1 billion to defend itself. The Arrow 3 system cost $4 billion. David Sling cost $250 million. The THAAD system cost $800 million. Iran fired a tiny fraction of its inventory to undermine a multi-billion-dollar system and threaten an airbase with precious F-35 fighter jets. Third, Israel often exaggerates the danger of Hamas rockets, even
Yeah, this is the funny part, dude. They exaggerate the Hamas rockets, but that undermines the Iranian attack.
though the Iron Dome intercepts the majority of them. With Iran, Israel's doing the opposite and downplaying the danger. This is a sign that Israel is spooked by Iran's capabilities. It's also why they are dragging their feet with a response. What do you think? Comment below.
This is Ben Gurion Airport.
תקלטו איזה תורות הולכים פה בנתב"ג, משהו מטורף. מה זה, עומס כזה נראה לי הרבה זמן לא היה.
There it is, boys. They make 550 Patriots per year, Sven Kier. And Russia drops sometimes 200 bombs a day on one location. That's not the entire front line. That means that you can exceed the Patriot air defense in like 2.5 days, dude. No. Yes, but that's you. When you see Patriots being used, it's typically not against bombs like what Russia is using. You see Patriots being used against ballistic and cruise missiles, i.e. missiles, not bombs. But when Russia can use these cheap bombs, they can just drop them whenever because they're so cheap. So it's very different to have an air defense against cheap bombs versus missiles that are expensive. Many air defense missiles warehouses has been attacked in Ukraine many times. Even in like hangars and grain storage facilities, shit like that in Odessa, where they were storing S-300s. You can check here. I just googled it. There's you can even check Wikipedia. Says the same thing. Wikipedia says the same thing. In fact. This is the bridge, dude. I'm not sure what's happening. Is it still fucked, dude? That container is still there. That you couldn't read that. That was. Rescue crew successfully removed most of the Francis Scott Key Bridge that was blocking the Fort McHenry Canal. Okay. Look at this. It's a Tesla Cybertruck. It looks cheap as fuck,
Stopped
dude.
the car, put it in park, got out. At first I thought the pedal was broken, but then I realized that nope, this was wedged down here.
Very dangerous, dude. I think I tried something similar. I had something wedged, so I couldn't push the fucking brakes or whatever.
Under this little section here.
You can see it just fucking came off, dude.
Not allowing this pedal to come back up. So, yeah, looks like there's a recall or some kind of stop cell for that. Somebody that panics, that could be pretty dangerous. Crazy.
Cheap piece of shit, dude.
Я гражданин России и Молдовы.
So this guy, the second person involved in the case of blowing up the car of the former SBU officer in Kosovo in Moscow, was detained. He's a citizen of Russia and Moldova. He was engaged in delivery and components for the explosive device in which the explosive was carried out. The components of the bomb were camouflaged by the SBU officers into manicure tools and hair products. In Warsaw, through the mediation for local residents, they were transferred by a parcel to a private transport company for delivery for the Moscow region. I agree, OPGT. We got Google employees demonstrating outside the tech giant. Nice. Nice, boys. When the employees, they start to demonstrate, surely that's gonna have like an actual impact, dude. We got Mick Wallace here.
We can see today that the crushing of Gaza is an attempt by the Israeli regime to obliterate the past, present and future of the Palestinian people now. We need accountability and we need responsibility. The Western powers have to make up their mind. Are they going to continue to support a settler colonial project that they began and abandon international law, or are we going to a different place?
We need accountability, boys. Hey, Basarov, what's up? How are you doing? I don't know what that is, dude. I don't know what that is. I'll check that later. We got an older video here of Ben Gvir. He's now the Israeli National Security Minister. And in this video, an older video, he's leading a mob of Israeli settlers in a rampage through the old city of Hebron to beat up Palestinian store owners and destroy their shops. Look, these are adult people, settlers, like smashing everything for no reason at all, dude. Just because they're fucking evil, dude. Now they're killing them. Now they're killing these people. But they have always been harassed, dude. And this is being led by an official from the Israeli political system. Someone who carries a gun and threatens to kill people. That's the state of affairs of Israel, dude. The worst country in the fucking Middle East. We got a girl here, Maya Abu Meri. He suffered a fracture. Very fucking bad, dude. Very tough to watch. I'm not sure if she's all there, dude. She could have like brain damage. I don't know. I don't know if she has brain damage, dude. It's not looking good, dude. That's not looking good at all, dude. This is Viktor Orban calling on the EU leadership to resign. Ursula is giving strong Ukrainian Dolores Umbridge vibes.
Leadership in the European Union with some major projects selected by themselves, like green transition, RFF policy, migration, war and sanction policy, and they all failed. The present leadership of European Union must go.
Will this happen, dude? These people like self-elected. Obviously, they're willing to sell out everyone and everything, right? Obviously, they're not gonna go because they deserve to go. So what Viktor Orban is really doing is speaking to us, not to them. I'm not sure if it's just shock, dude. So it says base of the skull and damage to the brain tissue as a result of the Israeli artillery shelling. That's not shock, dude. She's not responsive here. She keeps looking down. She's not looking, dude. No eye contact. No eye contact, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Back to the hotel in Chernihiv, where everyone said that Russia shells civilians, right? I showed you the military. I don't know what that is, though. But I showed you people in military uniform being carried out earlier. What are they highlighting here? While the Ukrainian media is screaming about the attack on civilians, the Ukrainian Ministry of Emergencies has published footage of an army bunk bed, clearly visible on the window. Army bunk beds. I don't know, dude. I can't tell that. But obviously people who know, they can see if that's an army bunk bed. I can't. I can't. But I see what they mean. That's like fucking bunk beds. Yeah, that's bunk beds, dude. I can see that. We got IMF growth forecast. This is not arranged in top in sequence or descending or ascending. So America 2.7, which is obviously inflated as fuck, dude. Germany, Germany is gonna undergo degrowth. France probably okay. Spain, I have no idea. UK probably okay, dude. China probably, maybe more. India, look. But then we have where the fuck is Russia, dude? 3.2%. More than America, by the way. I thought Russia was collapsing. This, I think, is in the flooded region in Russia. I forgot the name of the region. Doesn't matter too much, dude. No, this is in Dubai. Sorry, this is in Dubai, dude. That's a kitty. Do you guys remember the other kitty? It kept like meowing even after it was rescued. It's fucking holding on to the handle, dude. Very fucking tough position. Can they get up on the... It's too exhausted, dude. Take it. Angry.
Okay, let's cook.
Angry kitty, dude. I'm not sure if it's cold, dude. The thing that water is cold. They did like cloud seeding in Dubai and everything just went fuck off, dude. The entire city went green. Did you see that? And I don't know why the water went green. Oh, the entire clouds went green, dude. It looked nuts. Russia is trying to force Ukrainians to abandon their second biggest city. Is that Kherson, dude? Or Kharkov, sorry. Russia wants to cut Kharkov off from Ukraine. Ukrainian Western officials complained to Bloomberg. In their assessment, the Russian army does not have the resources to take the city in the short term, so they've decided to simply make it uninhabitable through constant shelling and provoking a mass evacuation of residents. Russia has not really shelled Kharkov. We haven't seen Russia like shelling Kharkov. We've seen Russia shelling the energy grid in Kharkov. Yes. Kharkov is becoming second Aleppo without US aid. What second Aleppo? But they have destroyed the electrical facilities in multiple areas, dude. We know that. Take a look at this. The turtle.
В начале 20 века в военных лабораториях Первого Рейха.
This one has electronic warfare on top of it. So if there's drones, they're gonna dive and not hit the target.
Был создан суперсекретный
They're gonna become like uncontrollable once they get close to it.
танк, обладавший боевой мощью и сверхоружием, намного опередившим свое время.
Look.
Для того, чтобы испытать танк и при
This one doesn't have mine clearance.
этом раньше времени не разрушить Европу, он был заброшен в Центральную Африку для порабощения непокорных зусулов. Через некоторое время в целях безопасности все, кто знал о существовании этого проекта, были уничтожены и о танке забыли. Тем не менее, его бесстрашный экипаж в составе командира майора барона фон Швайцкопфа 12-го, наводчика Ганса Шмульке и простых солдат Дранкеля и Шранкеля не забыли о своей великой миссии и готовы были до конца выполнить свой
cloud seeding.
В аналах
I
истории
showed the cloud seeding the other day in Dubai.
под названием «Железный капут».
Is that a mine, dude? Or is that shelling? Surely that's shelling, dude. It's just so precise. Surely that's shelling, dude. When there are 1 to 10 shells and 1 to 30 planes, then there's no chance of winning. Which is true. Zelensky is complaining that they are outgunned by 1 to 10 artillery shells, 1 to 30 planes, which is true. But Ukraine have been complaining about being ungunned by 1 to 10 shells since the beginning of the conflict. Hey, nice day, what's up? This is not this sort of ratio of disparity in how many shells and ammunition they have. It's nothing new. And surely in the beginning it might be different. There might be some places on the front line where Ukraine had a bit more than the Russians. But in general, Russia always had more ammunition than Ukraine. Russia has an unlimited amount of shells from the Soviet era. It's just about a matter of getting them to the front, which is an issue. The Air Force for Ukraine has drastically diminished. That's a big issue. But I feel like Ukraine has mostly used the Air Force to like do like storm shadow attacks. This is just not that many, dude. It's not that many. I mean, we hear about storm shadow attacks here and there, but it's not that many. It's so few that Ukraine being without it wouldn't have changed much. Or having twice of it wouldn't have changed much at all, dude. Russia is messing up Ukraine, yes, and they're doing that because they have more weapons. It's pretty simple. Russia is doing a war of attrition, and if you're conducting a war of attrition and you have more weapons, then you will win. Russia have more shells. They have a bigger air force. They have more artillery, barrels. They have more tanks. They have more armored vehicles. And they have more bombs. So we have been, since how long has it been since they started using the FABs? So Russia has been using the FABs, like the dumb bombs, for a while. But it's been like, they have like increased it like a shit ton. Like a really shit ton. They have increased the use of bombs a shit ton like 3-4 months ago. And they're so fucking effective, dude. So effective. Because they're cheap. And Russia can produce them in like huge numbers. So this is like a really, really simple weapon that is so easy to produce and so cheap that it's winning the war. It's not winning the war, but it's a new way of winning the war. Russia was always winning. That never changed, dude. But with the use of this weapon, it makes it so much easier. And they have this FAB bomb. It's 250 kilograms, right? Which is like twice of that of a HIMARS. They also have one that's 1,000 and 1,500. There's also one that's 3,000 kilograms. I'm not sure if I've seen that click lock. I start fucking to forget all this. I'm starting to forget it all, dude, because it's just so far back. Click lock. Is there an FAB 500? I've forgotten all of it, dude. There's an FAB 250. There's an FAB 1000 and 1500. And then there's a 3000, which I don't think I've seen in Ukraine. We've seen the 1500 in Ukraine. We've seen that. The thing we see most on video is FAB 250 being used in the trench lines. Really precisely located, dude. We've also seen a bomb being dropped on a fucking bridge. They're so precise. 250, 500, 1500. I was wrong then. I was wrong, dude. So we got 250, 500, 1500, 3000, 5000, 9000. We've seen pictures of 9,000, but I think that's just like a test, or like you said, that's in kilograms. Limiter, that's in kilograms. So the 9,000 click lock, that's the one you said. The 5,000, 9,000, they're not really that extra explosive than the 3,000. I feel like that might just be the Soviets back in the day that thought, okay, fuck it, dude. Yeah, it's simple thinking. War of attrition. That means Russia would always win. And Russia is outproducing the entirety of the West. NATO produces 4,000 shells a month. America produced like 14,000 shells a month. Now it's maybe 20,000. And that's their factories working 24/7, right? Russia produces 250,000 shells a month. That's the disparity, dude. I haven't seen the FAB 3000 being used in Ukraine. I have not seen it, but I know that they are producing it for Ukraine. And they want to use it. And we've seen videos of Shoigu walking in the manufacturing center where they are producing them. So we have seen them. I just haven't seen it being used. We've seen the 1500. We've seen that being used against high-rise buildings, like building blocks, you know. And the 250 against trench lines, forest lines, sorry. And like I told you guys, in Chasiv Yar and Avdiivka, before Avdiivka fell, Russia was using like these bombs, like 200 a day, dude. That's a lot. That's a lot, dude. That's why the Ukrainian air defense is completely irrelevant. They're hey, Truth, I forgot. Hey, how are you doing? They're building a port in Gaza. It's a PR stunt, as far as we know. Yes, they are old, Ubitsa. There is an old photo of the FAB 9000. It looks so fucking cool, dude. I showed it to the stream. Let me see if I can find it. Truth, they're building a port, which is a PR stunt. That's an FAB 5000. It's very hard to see the scale, dude. How do you drop this, dude? Here, look at this, dude. That's an FAB 5000. You know, US has a base in Israel. Of course they do. Of course. I like this picture more, dude. That's a big fucker, dude. There's a big one. Such a simple weapon, dude. Hezbollah drone strike in northern Israel. This is from yesterday. They attacked something important, but now I forgot what it was, dude. I forgot what it was. That sucks, dude. We got Ursula von der Leyen here.
Is that this attack marks...
She's talking about the Iranian attack. She did not condemn Israel's attack on the Iranian embassy. All these people are fucking frauds, dude. Fucking frauds. And it's so obvious, dude. So everyone in the West, and there's many people in the West who's like been listening to these people regarding Russia and Ukraine, right? They must be like scratching their head at this point. So they lied to me about Ukraine, because look at how much they're like exposing themselves at this point.
The weapons used were far greater in number and in firepower than those that have been previously employed by Iran. Is the nature of the defense. It is truly remarkable how effectively and swiftly defense systems were able to intercept virtually every single drone or missile.
Well, if that's the case, then you don't need to worry about Iran then, right? If you intercepted everything, then what Iran does was completely irrelevant, dude. But look how she's going out of her way to like defend the Israeli narrative and defend the Western weapons. This is even more pathetic, dude. Just like double pathetic. Fucking despicable.
It rather shows the real value of consistent long-term investment in advanced defense capabilities and technologies.
If Ukraine had those interceptors, then they would have been like empty, depleted in like 2 weeks, dude.
And above all, it shows the value of building partnerships and cooperation with allies. The central...
Yes, they do, Shant, and it's so transparent and it's so obvious. And now that everyone is with Palestine because social media told them to be, they know that they are lying, dude, right? But then they should like see that they lied to them about fucking Ukraine. There's no video confirmation, but there's many of our military correspondents claim that several FAB 3000s were dropped in Azovstal and Mariupol. Okay, on the factory. Wouldn't you would have to fly directly over Azovstal to drop them, then wouldn't you, Cleglock? How would you wouldn't fly a TU over Azovstal, dude? How would you drop an FAB 3000 over Azovstal?
The role of the United States, the UK, France and others should not be underestimated. And nor should the role of the Arab countries in the region in averting a far greater damage. And the third point about this weekend is what it tells us about the wider threat landscape. Because this attack should not be seen in isolation. It was the latest...
That's it, boys. But we know the speech, dude. We fucking know the fucking speech. This is from Iran, the aerospace commander. So the major is asking him, what will you do if Israel responds? We will strike them 100%. Right? Then I want to show you this. This is satellite footage of sort of a warehouse in Iran. And as you can see in the picture, it is very high quality. There's a lot of missiles. This is a satellite photo of an Iranian ballistic missile storage production facility. There are hundreds of such warehouses and production facilities in Iran. Okay? Practically every cent of Iran's defense budget has been spent on the mass production of ballistic missiles since the early 2000s. The situation has now reached a point where the problem is not production capacity but storage capacity. There are literally too many missiles to store. That's why they're outside, dude. We produce them like cigars. Male rights. America can barely produce anything, dude. And look at Iran just pumping them out. Look at this. Very impressive. Very fucking impressive, dude. The reason why Iran is doing this is because they know it's about fucking survival for them, dude. So they have to do it. It's that or nothing. Amnesty says at least hundreds of detainees have died from mistreatment and inhumane conditions in US facilitated detention systems for people linked to the Islamic State. Wait, is America ISIS, dude? Is America ISIS? And are they killing people in prison, dude? But what about Navalny? We got RFK here. Talking about China, Russia. Think.
If Israel disappeared, Russia and China would be controlling the Mideast, and they control 90% of the world's oil supply, and that would be cataclysmic for U.S. national security.
Not really true, dude. It would be cataclysmic for the US corporations, but not national security. They just use these words interchangeably. But obviously, this is just about protecting the corporations. So this is RFK protecting the US corporations. And he's supposed to be like against that. Exposed, dude. Fucking exposed. We got again Ursula von der Leyen and being interrupted while speaking to Arms Summit in Brussels. that's the video from before. Okay,
Thank
so
you very much, Miss. Thank you very much, Miss.
Citizens arrest, dude. Look, just despicable. She is a war criminal, dude. But war criminals today, they get to walk free in the West.
Genocide in Gaza. You expressed total support for Israel at the beginning of this genocide. The blood of Palestinian children is on your hands. You are a criminal, Mr. Ramadan. You should be behaving. You should not be here. You should not be willing for a second.
Despicable, dude. Even a fucking hairstyle is despicable, dude.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thiessen. Thank you very much, Mr. P, for the invitation.
That was a Putin paid agent, dude.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here.
Putin that down.
Indeed, over the last...
I wouldn't be surprised if the people who escorted that guy out was just like randoms, dude. Essentially, the people are responsible and they are in the way of justice. Not the establishment. This is Dubai again. Time-lapse of the situation with the cloud seeding. You can clearly see it's getting fucked, dude. And we saw it in another video. Everything is just like fucking green, dude. I don't know what happened. But, look. Look, dude, that looks really, really bad. Wow. The Ukrainian police published footage of first minutes after the arrival of the hotel in Chernihiv. A man in military uniform is visible among the wounded. There were also military men around. Former People Deputy Igor previously stated that the arrival was a hotel where the military was accommodated. So we have to be careful in this video not to show like that guy's just wounded. He's getting treated. But we're gonna skip it anyway. We're gonna skip it too. That's a military uniform as well. I think I couldn't see that. I couldn't see it. I don't know if it was. I couldn't see it, dude. I don't know why there's like a blurb over his photo here. As a result of Russian attack on the satellite in the Messkaya community of the Dnipropetrovsk region, Putin was shown on all channels for several hours. So they hacked television, dude. Look at Nikki's code. I sent you a picture. You didn't send me anything, Mailwhite. You didn't send me anything, though. But we have seen the damage done by Iran. Essentially Israel is crying, dude. Fucking crying, dude. None of their missiles was intercepted. And they were using like old ass missiles. Iran braces for retaliatory Israeli strike. Iran prepares for the Israeli retaliatory strike. Iran is withdrawing some officers from Syria due to the possible Israeli strike. Iran Air Force is preparing for Israeli strikes, and its navy will second escorting commercial Iranian ships in the Red Sea. Israeli officials have still not decided on the nature of the retaliatory strike. Right? Now this is a video of the people of Gaza being at the beach without being fucked. Think? Yep. Very unique video. Again, that one. So, OS end accounts, when they release a satellite image of random Iranian military facility. I don't know what that is. Never mind, dude. Never mind. We got Douglas McGregor here, ex-US colonel, talking about Ukrainian neo-Nazis refusing to fight. Syrsky, the commander of the Ukrainian armed forces, have also signed a bill because people refused to take orders.
Now, the interesting part is that apparently within the last 24 hours, one of the more notorious organizations in the Ukrainian military, which uses all of these Nazi symbols that we're familiar with,
right,
apparently refused to fight. They simply told the government, we've had it. We're not going to die in great numbers any longer. We will not fight. So the combination of, on the one hand, people giving up because they see no purpose, and even the most stalwart supporters of the regime giving up, or at least refusing to fight, suggests that this may end more rapidly than even I thought it would. Because the Russians are following up. They're moving towards the Dnieper River. And I think within the next 45 days or so, we're going to see them in command of Kharkov and virtually everything that is east of the Dnieper River. Now, the question is, when do they cross and seize Odessa? I have no idea. But I think within 45 days, what I described will probably be largely in Russian hands.
McGregor, I think it's on the Ukrainian enemy list. I think so. I'm not sure if he's on the kill list. Again, this is a fragment of an Iranian missile. The IDF is continuing to find these fragments. I think they're quite happy to film this because it's just in a fucking road somewhere. Hardcore risk of becoming second Aleppo without US aid. The destruction of Aleppo cultural heritage and mass atrocities. Cameras capture ISIS atrocities in Aleppo. First ISIS operation in Aleppo governorate in 18 months. What? What is this, dude? Second Aleppo. How do I feel about Zelensky? Zelensky is a usurper who is who the Ukrainian constitution said that if there was no elections at the end of March, I think it was, then he would no longer be a valid president. So he is officially a usurper, and Ukraine has no president. Zelensky does not want Ukraine to win. Zelensky doesn't care about Ukraine in the EU or NATO. Zelensky is an actor who is, for whatever reason, willing to sell everything and kill everyone for whatever. He has like 7 or 9 houses abroad. After the SMO started, within months he had acquired like $2 billion, which is huge for a Ukrainian. Zelensky has no syndrome. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't have like a will or a direction. He takes orders. Zelensky takes orders. Even if Zelensky wanted to get out of Ukraine, he couldn't. Remember, he's surrounded. There's neo-Nazis in the government. There's Nazis everywhere. And if these Nazis get the hint that Zelensky wants to get out, that would mean that the end of the Nazis in Ukraine, they don't want that. So they will protect their own lives or whatever, in whatever way they can. That means like holding Zelensky, pinning him down. We also have seen videos of British agents with the Ukrainian flag upside down on their shoulders, which is a way to belittle Ukraine. And you wouldn't be able to do that. If you go to Ukraine with the flag like that, you're gonna get killed, dude. So we have British agents in Ukraine surrounding Zelensky. So it's very much likely that Zelensky is being coerced as well, dude. And his wife is also involved in... Yes, Zelensky's wife is involved in trafficking of children. So both of them are abused, but whether they're doing it willingly or not is irrelevant. None of them has any will or relevance. They are simply just figureheads, dude. And they don't matter that much. What happened to Aleppo? Syrian terrorist groups got immense military and economic support for the US to weaken the Syrian government. Atrocities and chaos ensued when ISIS took over the surrounding areas in the city. So you had like a bunch of human rights crimes happening on the hands of America in Aleppo. We got the former British defense minister here.
But the biggest threat to Europe right now, the most powerful individual in Europe right now is
Putin.
President Putin. And unfortunately, because
so Putin is the most dangerous person, so we need to go to war. Send your kids to war, dude. What about your kids?
Because America has hesitated in its $60 billion support package, Germany is not providing those important Taurus missile systems, and the rest of Europe has hesitated, not kept up with Britain in offering the military assets that Ukraine needs. The tide is turning there, and if Putin is able to claim any sort of victory whatsoever, he will not stop there. He will continue emulating his hero, Stalin. He's more powerful than Stalin.
The thing about Putin just wanting to take land for the sake of land is so ridiculous, dude. Putin is doing Putin because he's that evil.
Now.
Fucking ridiculous, dude. Macron's push to arm Europe is getting more urgent and more dangerous. You guys remember the Macron scandal with his wife, right? That's a way to blackmail Macron. Macron is also a puppet who is being controlled by the CIA. I think it was Iranian intelligence like 2 years back saying Macron is now getting orders directly from the CIA without the involvement of the White House. Macron was condemned in the West for showing off. The French president likes to instill in the Europeans a desire for independence, including the military sphere, writes the author of the article in Bloomberg. At this time, despite the calls to increase assistance to Kyiv, Paris' own merits are very modest. Remember, France is also buying oil from Russia. This is all a way to escalate the conflict by using European country vassals. Then we got Boris Johnson here. Again, unelected, failed politician who also just destroyed Ukraine.
Because if Ukraine falls, it will be a catastrophe.
Yeah, but you destroyed Ukraine, dude. You made it a catastrophe. It will be a catastrophe for the Western corporations, not the people. Remember, we had cheap energy before.
For the West, it will be the end of Western hegemony.
Yep, that's true. That's true, dude.
And we will have no one to blame but ourselves.
True. He is not lying, dude. This is the ammunition thing that fucking exploded, dude. Do you remember? Okay. There has been an explosion at a site belonging to BAE Systems. Britain's. This is in Britain, dude. Sorry. So there was the Shell plant in America that had a fire. This is down in Britain. Do you know what, Toms? Are you here? Toms, I think someone fucking did this, dude. I think some Brits went in and did this. So there's been an explosion at the site belonging to BAE Systems, Britain's biggest defense firm in South Wales. It's said that there were no injuries and no risk to local residents. The exact cause of the incident is still under investigation. So this just looks to me like someone fucking did this. Some Brit dude. When Iran attacked Israel, the country's military official had already assumed an Israeli retaliation would take place, and they had even prepared for a limited war that they would assume last anywhere between 1 to 3 months. The assessment was that at some point a risk had to be taken regardless of the outcome. Remember this, dude. Israel posted footage of the damage done by Iran. Male rights. And what really happened is that Israel just dug up some bullshit. This damage that they actually showed was not done by the Iranian ballistic missile. So this is like mocking the Israelis. That's the Khyber hypersonic, dude. That's the Khyber hypersonic. In Dagestan, a high-ranking official from Chechnya was detained at a checkpoint who refused to stop his GMC at a request of a policeman, and then turned around and tried to run over the inferior minister employees. A hedgehog was released and the car was stopped. The driver with signs of severe alcohol intoxication was detained. I thought this was regarding some terrorist dude. I didn't realize this was about something being drunk. I don't care about this too. Explosion at a BAE System weapons factory in South Wales. Lol. Boston Dynamics introduced a new generation robot. I saw this. Looks okay. It can move. It's not hooked up to any wires. It looks clunky, but that doesn't matter, dude. The only thing that matters is practicality and functionality. Not like it that it looks cool, whatever. Ukrainian television. The China Hill region blood center really needs help, donors, especially those with negative RH. So what's happening is that the Ukrainians are seeking blood donors for the attack at the hotel because of the amount of people who were injured. China is using AI really well, dude. So this is again BAE System weapons factory explosion felt like an earthquake when blast rocket Britain's only ammunition factory as a shell exploded. Okay, so if a shell exploded, dude, then it was probably just an accident. So remember we talked about the lasers the other day. This is a good example about when you move a laser 1 degree, how different it like spread out, dude. That's why I saved this picture. Stoltenberg said that when choosing between assistance to Ukraine and their own weapons, NATO members must choose Ukraine.
But Ukraine needs even more. That is why, if allies face a choice between meeting NATO capability targets and providing more aid to Ukraine, my message is clear. Send more to Ukraine. Denmark is a strong example, providing all of the artillery to the Ukrainians, but also with clear plans in place to replenish national stocks.
And then what? What is the plan with Ukraine, dude? Israel was considering the idea of launching a retaliatory strike against Iran on Monday evening, but decided to postpone the attack. Alright? Intensive Israeli enemy reconnaissance flights over the eastern chain of Rayak and Baalbek, which is Lebanon. Whatever, dude. Biden confused. This is too much, dude. This is too fucking much, dude. Could you imagine? Could you fucking imagine, dude? This is too much, dude. Hezbollah shows footage of what it says today's attack on Israeli army headquarters. So they attacked on Israeli headquarters. I saw this earlier. This is in the north of Israel. This has been evacuated of civilians. the civilians are located or like housed in hotels, which is really fucking expensive. Okay. Surely this is a drone, dude. This might be the drone footage of that video I showed you earlier. Is that a guy? Yeah, it is. Okay. There it is, boys. Iran sends strong message to Israel with missiles and drones. I don't think we saw this.
On its embassy in the Syrian capital, Damascus.
We did see this. We did see that. Never mind. One of the founders of Hamas was 8 years old when he watched his uncle and 200 other boys and men massacred by the Israeli army.
If you actually look at
this guy is a survivor of the Holocaust, I believe.
The history of the founders of Hamas. One of the founders of Hamas, subsequently assassinated by Israel decades ago, was a pediatrician who was 8 years old when he watched his uncle and 200 other boys and men massacred by the Israeli army in
very easy to believe.
Gaza in 1956. When Israel took over Gaza in 1956, they killed unarmed civilians. A couple of hundred, and also in Rafah they did the same thing. I didn't make this up, this is history. You can look it up. And I forget this doctor's name who became one of the founders of Hamas, but he said, they planted hate in my heart. That's what he said. They planted hate in my heart. So for sure, October the 7th planted hate in a lot of Israeli hearts. And the occupation and what's happening in Gaza right now will plant a lot of hate in a lot of Palestinian hearts. There's no question about it. There's only one part of that question that I resist, where he says they all have reason to hate Israel and become murderers. Maybe. Or maybe they'll become resistance fighters. And
that's right. I fucking forgot, dude.
It's a legitimate resistance to occupation.
Didn't he survive like the Holocaust?
That isn't murder. I don't know if you understand that distinction. But people have the right to resist an occupation.
Of course.
They have the right to resist the occupation with arms. The third point is that in 2005, there was a study in Gaza and in Palestine, the West Bank, about degrees of post-traumatic stress disorder in children. This study found that about 40% of Palestinian kids had severe symptoms of PTSD as young children. About 35% had significant symptoms. Only 2.5% had no trauma symptoms. 2.5. This is 2005. This is before Hamas took over in Gaza. But already 97.5% of Palestinian kids showed some degree of trauma. Some of them severe degrees of trauma. Now, who do you think those militants who stormed Israel on October the 7th were? They were those kids that were grown up. Full of trauma.
Exactly, dude.
Many of them probably full of hatred. And this is a cycle. This is a historical cycle that's been going on for so long now. So we're never going to resolve the issue looking at any one particular generation. already one particular group. You gotta step back and say, what is it about this situation that keeps creating this ongoing trauma? If we're really gonna deal with this situation, people, you have to get past October the 7th. You have to get past October the 6th and October the 8th or April the 1st. You have to look at the whole situation that's been going on for generations and ask, what is causing all this? What is the source of it? Remember something. 40 years ago, Hamas didn't even exist. There was no Hamas 40 years ago. Something happened to create that organization and that ideology. Where did it come from?
I don't know. I feel like the only hope for Palestine is like a big ass wider conflict in the Middle East too. It sucks, but I think it has to get way worse before it gets better. And the longer that is postponed, I mean, I don't know. Maybe with the arrival of BRICS, but you didn't see China doing anything with Gaza before, but that might be because lack of options, dude. Right? If China, Russia had less to worry about, would they like worry about Palestine? I don't fucking know, dude. This is in memory of the Crocus City Hall and the children who died there, in the hands of America, who used Ukraine to do a terrorist attack. You shouldn't be blaming the terrorist attack on the Crocus City Hall on Ukraine, but on America. Because Ukraine doesn't do anything without getting green light from its sponsor, America. Okay? America, the fucking terrorist, dude. There was a base, an air base, a Russian air base called Disankoy in Crimea, dude. This is in Crimea. And what we got here is air defense. 2 air defense systems. Maybe 3 air defense systems that are destroyed. So Ukraine did an attack on this airbase, and they successfully did something. This is not too often, dude. I don't have much information other than that. Oh. There it is. I wanted to show you that Ukraine attacked an airbase and hit it. And this is Russian air defense that got fucked. Okay. This is Georgia. What we're seeing here is puppet protesters that are being paid or tricked into protesting. What's happening in Georgia is a second attempt to implement what they call foreign bill or something, foreign agency. So what this bill is about is something that America and all other countries have. Most countries have this. If you have an NGO in a country and it works on behalf of a foreign NGO, like an American NGO, they want that NGO to be recognized. Which is perfectly normal. America has this. Everyone has this. So if I in Denmark, we got an American NGO, we want it to be recognized as such, and this is a bill to do that, and no one person would be against this, because it doesn't do anything bad. It's just a matter of identifying foreign operatives in your country. So there would be no like natural protest against like this. So this is only like protest like fucking Kairos and Roden Ford believe that this is like natural bullshit, dude. Obviously this is like paid actors, not like paid actors, but they're like fooled into protesting, and they probably don't know what they're protesting, dude. It's probably fucking Adidas shoes. Exactly, ClickLock. And it's so dumb, ClickLock, to believe that anyone would protest this. But look how many people they got, dude. ClickLock, I remember in Ukraine, during the Maidan protest, people were like, oh, You can't pay that many people. Look, dude. Look, dude. It's easy. You just give them like $50, dude. All these protesters are puppets. Because it makes no sense to protest this bill. This bill only has the good for Georgia. It has the good for any country. So this is a perfect example about how you can like finance a revolution. For those who like don't believe that, or believe that the protests in Maidan were like natural or organic, dude. The thing about this specific protest is that I don't think this required propaganda. I think this just required money, dude. So we got American NGOs working overtime to pay protesters to go to the streets in Georgia, dude. This is again IDF bases inside Gaza. Is that the water, dude? Where the fuck is this? Netzarim corridor update. The IDF has begun the construction of a new base in Gaza, located opposite of the planned American-built pier. I've marked it with a 2. What the shit, dude? That's the pier. IDF is building bases inside Gaza. What the flying fuck, dude? Do something, Hamas. The start of clearing can be seen on the Planet satellite imagery shared by Jake Gooden today. It was confirmed by the IDF that 2 recently remobilized reserve brigades will be replaced in the Nahal Brigade in the Corridor 1, and then will be stationed there to guard the pier. The new brigade's second will likely enter the Netzarim corridor once the ongoing operation in central Gaza is completed. After that, Nahal and the 401st Brigade will rest in Rafah. What? Rest in Rafah? Get the fuck out, dude. Central Gaza operation update. The IDF has advanced in a few houses. Counted 33. Rafah, okay. This is some insane shit, dude. They're building fucking bases in here. Do something, Hamas. Medvedev. Russia, like any great power, has strategic borders that lie far beyond the geographical ones. Lol. Lol. This is Lebanon, I believe. This is clear to see what it is. This is white phosphorus, right? And like this is actually southern Lebanon. This is another example of Israel using banned weapons in southern Lebanon. They have been using banned weapons in Gaza and Lebanon. There were some days when they used these weapons like hundreds of times a day, dude. And it burns through into the bone and keeps burning, dude. And we've seen babies that were burnt alive with this weapon. Very, very fucking bad, dude. An investigation by ProRepublica revealed that a special State Department panel told U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken that the U.S. should restrict arms sales to Israel military units that have been credibly accused of human rights abuses, including killings and rapes, but he failed to take any action. Okay? Then we got Max Blumenthal explains the Zionist method of mowing the lawn.
In 2006, the Israeli Air Force destroyed the southern Beirut neighborhood called Dahia. After this neighborhood was destroyed, then northern commander of the Israeli military, Gadi Eisenkot, gave an interview which he explained as follows. What happened in the Dahia quarter of Beirut in 2006 will happen in every village from which Israel is fired on. We will apply disproportionate force on it and cause great damage and destruction there. From our standpoint, these are not civilian villages, they are military bases. This is not a recommendation. This is a plan, and it's been approved. 2 years later, the Institute for National Security Studies, which is a military-linked think tank in Israel, produced a paper called Disproportionate Force. And it ended with the following. Such a response, a disproportionate response, aims at inflicting damage and meting out punishment to an extent that will demand long and expensive reconstruction processes. So these attacks were aimed not only at civilians, but at civilian infrastructure. And the point is that Eisenkot and the military intelligence apparatus of Israel concluded that it couldn't defeat Hezbollah or Hamas militarily, it couldn't dislodge them, and so it would attack the civilian population in order to demoralize it and hopefully turn it against the political leadership that it supported.
That's not gonna work, dude. That's not gonna fucking work. There's a different motive behind this action, dude, because we know it's not gonna work, and so do they. They know it's not gonna fucking work. There's a different reason, dude.
Refers to these assaults as mowing the lawn, as if Palestinian civilians in the Gaza Strip.
You know what? I think they're just fucking killing them out of like fucking spite and shit, dude. You see how they behave, right?
Are little blades of grass who have to be brought down to size every 2 or 3 years.
You guys see how they behave? I think they're just doing it out of fucking spite, dude. I don't believe it's like tactical or shit like that. I don't fucking believe it. They want to fucking kill them. So I think they're terrorizing the civilians, dude. So they leave. I don't think it's like political. I don't think it's like a fucking political thing, dude. I think it's just a tactic to get the fucking civilians to leave. By terrorizing the civilians so they leave, not so they attack. Not so they attack or go against their leaders. I don't believe that's the reason why they're doing it, though. I don't believe so. I need to sneeze, dude. Suspected Iranian agent worked as US set up Israel's defense. Lol, dude. Lol, dude. Today's Washington Times laments that Biden's containment policy has failed again, and the failure to stop the Middle East conflict exposes US weakness to its enemies. Fuck off. Israel's stuck in a catch-22. Damned if it retaliates against Iran, and damn if it doesn't. True. I don't want to run through this. This is funny, boys. Ukraine is winning. Ukraine is heading for defeat. What changed, dude? What changed? Lol, 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 lol. What fucking changed, dude? What fucking changed? I don't know. I don't know what changed, dude. Hey, Smith. Catch-22 is when you can't really do anything right. Like cap super rates. You have to be crazy to fly into a battle on the way out. You get. I thought a catch-22. If you can't do anything, you have to. You can't really make it. We have two choices, but you can't make either of them. This is in Voronezh. So this is between Rostov-on-Don and Moscow. So further inland in Russia. What you got here is a drone. Is that a drone, dude? What? Did you see that? There's a drone in the background and there's something here. So weird, dude. That's a car. So what's happening is that the drone that crashed in the background was taken down by electronic warfare. The reason why I'm showing you this video is because this is inland in Russia and they have electronic warfare, and I find that interesting.
Опа.
Enlistment officers. Capturing cannon fodder, dude. Run. So Russia lost 90% of his pre-war army. Military modernization set back 18 years. Russia's army is now 15% bigger than it was when it invaded Ukraine. Boys. What happened, dude? What happened? What happened? The Ukraine war is lost. What happened, boys? Ben Shapiro. Fuck this guy. I'm moving on, dude. In Sweden, it is allowed to change gender legally from the age of 16 without resorting to surgery. Okay? Then we got Serbian MP here. Simonovic Bratic.
Downfall of common sense. Finally, this is a downfall of Europe that once a lot of people dreamed of. In Serbia, we all feel the same. If you let Kosovo in, you are rejecting Serbia. You are expelling Serbia. Are you sure that this decision is an easy one?
That sounds like a perfect normal politician, dude. Okay? Look, we got tanks, armored vehicles in Russia with drone protection. Okay? What is this? What is this, Clock? What is this doing? Something to do with the mines, but I don't know how this works. Yeah, but do you then turn to it? What are these for? In order to clear the mines, you have to take this down to the dirt and like turn up the dirt, dude. But what are these chains for? Sibirisk. Do I have to read it, dude? Israel has stopped only 84% of Iranian attacks, not 99%. I think they have stopped way less, Sibirisk. So I saw very few interceptions, too. A researcher specializing in Israel's war revealed yesterday that IDF has underestimated the details regarding Iran's latest retaliatory attack against Israeli targets. The air defenses have repelled about 84% of the Iranian attack, not 99%. Satellite images show at least one damage in one of the nuclear reactors building of Dimona and two of the surrounding areas. We saw Dimona being attacked, though. He also added that Iran's Operation True Promise saw the firing of about 185 Shahed drones and the jet version, which had speeds up to 500 kilometers per hour, as well as dozen cruise missiles and about 110 ballistic missiles. I don't think there was 110 ballistic missiles. I think there was 12. I think there was 12 though. Noting that the US military intercepted at least 6 missiles using US destroyers equipped with Aegis missiles defense systems. Yeah, but we haven't seen that, dude. No proof. Iran fired long-range ballistic missiles towards Israel from various launch sites. Iran fired long-range blah 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 from but did not use the type of missile during the operation. Okay, fine. 84 includes drones, also which used to saturate the air defense. I don't think that's true, Sibusk. I think it's way less. I think so. I think they intercepted below 50. I think it's something against mines, but I'm not sure. Me neither. Click look. Obviously, this is something to do with mines. Maybe this one can go down into the dirt. But what if then it would be shaped like this, which it is not. So I have no idea. I have no fucking idea, dude. And I have no idea what these chains are, dude. With like these things on the end. I don't fucking know. Yeah, but it does make sense as a mind trigger. I'm telling you, boys. For if this one goes down into the dirt, you would shape it like this. In order for it to trigger the drones, this is not enough to trigger a mine. So you need to have pressure on the mine, and this piece of wood doesn't trigger the mine. I could jump on the mine and it wouldn't blow up, dude. So what they normally do is they take a plate like this, shape it like this, and then they take it down into the dirt, and then they move the mines to the side, and then they explode in that round, dude. But with this one, obviously this is not gonna trigger any mine, dude. This is not gonna trigger a mine. This is so light. So, and this one, moving that one down into dirt, this would just go into the wheels. So it makes no sense, dude. I don't know about magnetic because they use like maybe if these are like super strong magnetic things, and it's actually metal that are like super strong magnetic, and that's enough to trigger a reaction. Maybe. I don't know. This is Ruang volcano erupted in Indonesia. Be careful, boys. You guys remember? Hey, Daisy. You guys remember the volcano in Iceland that shut off the airspace on half the planet, dude, for weeks? I forgot to show you this, by the way. I don't know. This has like a net with camouflage on it. We got another evidence of an S-400 being hit, dude. And this is the evidence. I do think that they actually did hit something. So this is vampires, NATO weapons being used in Belgorod in civilian areas. Yeah, red alert, dude. So, air defense shot down 14 Vampire multi-launch rocket system shells over the territory of Belgorod. I think there was one who got injured. Okay? You ready for this, Sibush? This is fucking you, dude. I think a coup might be in store for Georgia after the government passed the Foreign Agents Bill. We got large protest of the pro-Western opposition are underway. Large protest of pro-West opposition. Sibush? Sibush? No, Sibusk. But you need to tell us about Georgia, dude. Is this a pro-Western opposition rally? I thought this was trying to prevent the foreign bill. Did the foreign bill pass, Sibusk? Mine flail. Safe pass through minefield. Deliberately detonating landmines in front of the vehicle. I don't know, dude. I don't know. They are rotating. In that instance, they are rotating, Salman. It did pass, Siburusk. Nice, dude. Nice, Siburusk. Nice, Siburusk. The government in Georgia is anti-West, but the president is not. So you need to get rid of him, Siburusk. This defiant Ukrainian general has no smile and surprising remarks on Trump. What, dude? This is Budanov. This is Budanov, dude. And he's responsible for the killings of many civilians and civilians inside Ukraine as well. The head of the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine, Kirill Budanov, is in an interview with the Washington Post, threatens new raids by the so-called RDK and drone attacks on Russian territory. So more terrorism. He's threatening more terrorism. In order to counteract the Russians, Budanov is planning more attacks on Russian volunteers who operate inside Russia with the support of his department, Budanov said in an interview. He also announces his intention to increase the number of drone attacks on Russian territory. You don't say, dude. We don't fucking say, dude. We got a longer video here with James O'Keefe. He's doing a video with a guy who is supposedly running the White House. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it, but I think we should take a look.
So what's your title? Like
special advisor. I work for the chief of staff, like directly.
Oh, you report to the chief of staff. So author's the chief of staff to Guzman.
Yeah, Isabella Guzman.
So she's basically a spokesperson for Biden.
Yeah.
She's indirectly campaigning for Biden.
Yes. Yeah.
Administrator Guzman said basically are going to these critical battleground states to basically campaign for President Biden.
Anytime we go, we try to visit with a member of Congress if they're a Democrat. The White House was like, yes, go. Don't invite the other senator because he's a Republican. And don't invite the two members of Congress because they're Republicans. There's a guy named Jeff Zients. I mean, by getting Jeff's sign off, you're getting the president's sign off. People call him like the second most powerful person in Washington. Most of the time it's like, hey, whatever this guy says is what the president says.
Who would you say is the most powerful person at the White House?
Jeff.
Jeff is the most powerful person at the White House.
Other than like the president. There's probably like 5 or 6 people that work for Joe Biden and have worked for him for 30 years. One of them is Ron Clay. Ron worked for Biden when he was like a senator. There's a guy named Steve Ricchetti. He's like a senior advisor.
Are you here?
White House. Anita Dunn. Yeah, she's a senior advisor at White House. Gene Sperling. He's an economics guy.
1,000 people. Siburusk, I think these protesters, they were like they were like anti-West, dude. But I can't tell. It's very tough to tell, dude. Smurf, Ubitsa. What's going on, dude?
Oh, his sister, Biden's sister. She like runs the Biden Foundation. They're the people that run his different departments. If they put
what do you have to say, Smurf?
Saying like, hey, we think you should do this to Obama's.
So I feel like Barack Obama's still very like involved.
Video.
Yeah, Hillary was being interviewed, and she said, "I still talk to the White House every day."
She has people that are like super close to her that are still.
Siburusk, we need to figure out what's happening in Tbilisi. There are people protesting. So the bill passed, right? And after the bill passed, was there people outside on Tbilisi cheering for the bill passing? Is that what happened? What did Skarvida say? Smurf, you need to pay attention, dude. I don't know what this is.
Like senior people in the White House.
So who is she talking to in the White House?
Probably near Tandon.
I hope that Hillary's still involved behind the scene because
no, she is.
Not a week goes by without a news headline about potential medical supply shortages, threats to our infrastructure or power grid. And you remember what they pulled during the last pandemic. Certain medications were mysteriously out of stock. No way will I ever let that happen again. In today's unpredictable world, it's TWC.
Like pretty much every week.
Give me a boss.
You know what? Fuck this. I don't want to watch this. If you guys don't give a fuck, then I don't know what's it because I don't give a fuck, dude. So the F-35 situation is much more complicated than this. The actual readiness is likely somewhere just below 50%, dude. If all you want to do is fly in circles, the troubles with the F-35 is in combat capabilities also have its readiness, and that readiness is what it drops it below 30. Siburusk. It's always been an engineering disaster with guns that couldn't aim properly. They actually carefully fitted the helmets that snapped pilots' necks and carried or take off on an eject. An airframe that couldn't handle supersonic flight and fatigue. And the understrength landing gear amongst the insane problem. What the shit, dude? But NATO weapons, fuck off. Fuck off, dude. The F-35 is a fucking disgrace, dude.
Is our signature Air Force platform. What percentage of them are fully mission capable today? Mr. Secretary.
Congressman, if you give me a second, I'm going to pull out my card and give you an exact answer.
Okay.
People online, Salman, on Twitch, they say like, oh, the Western weapons are so much better. But then they just suck, dude. They're just dumb fucking cobras. Hey Rangers, what's up? I heard that NATO might come to Gaza. Really? I haven't heard that though. I have not heard that.
Okay.
Yes, it is Salman. Yeah, I heard many issues about the F-35s, and the Americans, Smurf, or the MIC, they wouldn't be honest about that, dude. They wouldn't be honest about how it's underperforming.
Happy to.
Your eyes are probably better than mine.
But they need to sell it, dude. I haven't heard anything, Rangers, and I can't imagine NATO in Gaza. I mean, for what purpose? What would they be doing there, dude? Gaza is 99% of Gaza is bombed to shit, dude. What do you need? You can't get rid of Hamas. The operation is failed. I can see NATO trying to defend Israel if Israel attacked Iran, dude. I can see that.
Operational availability.
Full operationally capable. 55%
for operational.
Do you think that's a good
55, dude?
Number or a bad number?
I think that's not a good number.
Failing.
I wouldn't put it quite in that category.
A D?
I'd ask General Alvin to comment on that. It's a number we'd like to see something.
Yeah, well, the reason I ask is because we got testimony that is a little contrary to that. Lieutenant General Schmidt, head of the F-35 program, gave testimony to the TAL subcommittee at HASC, and that testimony was that as of February of 2023, so a little over a year ago, only 29% were fully mission capable.
I think we need
29%, dude. 29. I'm checking Rangers. Gaza is day after could have NATO guided government. NATO guided government. NATO day after. What? I don't understand, dude. I don't understand. Do they want like NATO government in Gaza? I have no idea. I don't even know how that would look like, dude.
talk difference between operational availability,
okay,
and mission capable.
Yeah, but NATO should have no part in a lot of things, dude. But they do, right? So what NATO should or shouldn't is irrelevant. What makes sense or what we can imagine is more relevant, dude. Sibirusk, were the people in Tbilisi that was cheering for the fact that the bill passed?
Okay, so how many are fully mission capable today?
I do not have that number, but I would not dispute what the JPO has in front. And I would look
29%. So fully mission capable, 29%. You have no
Why does he look so weird with the eyes, dude?
No basis to dispute that, but you don't really know if it's true or false.
I have no basis to dispute it, but I would like to...
So you would agree that 55% is like a D, that 29% is definitely failing, right?
For fully mission capable. But the missions that they can accomplish...
What is normal, dude? How many of Russians fighter jets are operational? What about China? What about Iran? I don't know. What is normal, dude?
I go meet with the folks at the 33rd at Eglin Air Force Base in the district I represent, and they're doing a lot of, there's a lot of mission there, but like
29 is operational, dude. The F-35 is a 5th generation fighter, right? F-35, 5th generation. Yeah. It says the world's only 5th generation long-range stealth strike fighter. What the shit, dude? Russia have the Sukhoi 57, dude. Clicklock. How many Sukhoi 57 are operational? How big a percentage? He's not going to be able to answer that.
even the guys who are also at Eglin doing test, they end up being at the very end, right? And I totally get why you want your operational squadrons to be the most capable, but then test gets put to the end, and then we're not meeting our needs. Like, I just think anyone watching this, one, would be surprised that you, General, don't know the exact percentage that are operationally capable, and two, I think people would be surprised that it's 29%. And this GAO report that I found on breakingdefense.com that I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record, it says that the reason we are not capable is because you guys at the Pentagon have given too much power to Lockheed Martin and its subcontractors for sustainment. Do you believe Lockheed Martin has been given too much power on the sustainment of the F-35?
I believe that Lockheed Martin has more power than in some other weapon systems. They do have the contracted logistics system that was part of the procurement plan that was put in place 20 or some years ago.
Well, right, I mean, but it's not working. If the Lockheed Martin built the F-35, only 29% of them are fully.
How many Su-57 are operational? How big a percentage are operational? I think they are using F-35s here and there, Smurf. I think so. But maybe not. I don't know, dude. Maybe not, dude. I don't fucking know.
Operationally capable right now. We've all agreed that's failing. So now the question is, why is it failing? And this GAO report says the reason it's failing is because the fox is watching the hen house. Because the very contractor bilking the taxpayer for this platform is now in a position where they can't sustain it. Do you have a basis to disagree with that conclusion?
I have a long history with the F-35.
I remember.
And
I remember they were grounded for 2 days. How the fuck do you hack an airplane, dude? Unless you hack like the operational board, which in turn hack the F-35. I'm sure you can hack the F-35 directly. You do it like fucking indirectly. Or like its surrounding gear or something like that, like the fucking satellites.
I inherited the program. I came into it in 2010. It was a few years into production at that point.
I inherited. It wasn't me, dude. Look at me.
And the first time I saw the program laid out, the schedule for it and so on, and when the decisions and points were going to be, the question I asked, and I'm going to quote myself, who's running this program, the government or Lockheed Martin? That's a quote from 2010.
I think you have your answer, Mr. Secretary.
And we set up the program when it was originally set up under a philosophy of management called total system performance, which essentially gave to the prime contractor complete control of the program. We did not acquire the intellectual property to allow the government to come in and step in and control the program.
It sounds like
we are still fighting that problem today.
Well, right, but that is such important testimony for us to hear. Every member of the committee heard that. The government isn't running this
You realize that China doesn't have these issues, right? Russia, they don't have these issues. Because it's like nationalized, though.
Program. Lockheed Martin's running this program.
That was a question I asked.
Well, it sounds like you got the answer. What's the answer to the question, Mr. Secretary? Because only 29% of them are operationally capable.
We took a lot of steps to try to get that under control. I once imposed a production contract on Lockheed. I dictated a price to them because we couldn't get a negotiation done. I did a unilateral contract. Let them take me to court if they wanted to. They chose not to. Put in place program managers who were very firm with the contractor and insisted on performance.
This guy is just defending himself, dude. That's it.
We've had some conversations with the current head of the JPO, and
I don't think any of these people, they do shit, dude.
With the CEO of Lockheed.
I appreciate those conversations. I've always found you to be the truth teller. You're always very honest with
me. Maybe he's telling the truth. I don't know. I'm just assuming. Dude.
Straightforward. The problem is the tail here is wagging the dog, and it's not going to get better unless there's accountability for the fact that their planes don't fly. I yield.
Planes are fucked, dude. Hypersonic missile systems, the Dagger. This is the Kinzhal boys. And you got 2 jets. Well, you got the bombers in Russia that can use them, but you also got 2 MiGs. The MiG-31I and the MiG-31K can carry the Dagger, if I remember. 2,000 kilometers. That's the same as the Kaibar. 500 kilogram. But remember, it has kinetic energy as well, right? Kinetic. How does the Kinzhal complex work? The plane drops a rocket and leaves. Protection is discarded. That's the back one of it. Okay. And then the engine turns on. The elevation gain. 30 kilometers. Okay. Undocking the warhead. And then it goes back into the atmosphere. And then it accelerates straight down, boys. That's why when we have seen these daggers on videos, they always go like this, bam. They don't come like this at an angle. Always like straight down, dude. So it has like, so look at this. The warhead maneuvers using GLONASS data. So when it goes down, it like does maneuvers in case of anti-air defense. And we have seen this. We saw this on the warehouse with the launchers being destroyed, where we saw the dagger coming like this, bam. We didn't see it maneuver, obviously, because it's just so fucking fast, dude. But look how fucking look at that speed, boys. Bam. This is very impressive. No, I did not, Sibuski. I did not. This is very impressive. Very nicely done, chat, dude. This is how exactly I would have thought it worked. I don't know how far this is up, though, like 30 kilometers. How far is that up? I don't know. I have no idea, dude.
Israel has...
I have no idea. This is the, so look, I showed you that video earlier. This is electronic warfare on the top. Right. Okay, I'm not gonna go through that. It's electronic warfare, right? You know what? We got some analysis of the Iranian attack. We're gonna read this, dude. The strike was much smaller than they claimed. You ready, fucking Sibusk? You fucking ready, dude? The strike was much smaller than claimed and largely defeated Israel's missile defense. I told you. I fucking told you, dude. The thing about 100 ballistic missiles is something that the West put out to make it seem like their air defense was effective. It's not, dude. Everything they have is completely fucked. The preface this technical analysis with political one. Balance of power in the Middle East shifted last weekend. Israeli military primacy has been a cornerstone of the region's politics for generations. The primacy no longer exists following the grinding campaign in Gaza and the Iranian attack. Israel can bleed, and its regional enemies are clearly unafraid of its fury. Is that the ionosphere, Shakay? Now let's figure out what happened. Israel officially claimed that they have shut down 99% of the attack. Okay, and the other guy, Yusemi Sibrus, said 84%, right? Close to 200 drones and 30 plus cruise missiles, with only trivial damage inflicted to Nevatim airfield. The United States, Jordan, and Israeli allies echoed these claims. Videos circulating online credit the impression of ballistic missiles coming in across Israel, none of which seem to have landed. That's not true. The desert can be a strange place. There is no phenomenon in such hot and dry conditions. Where, okay, I just want to know the fucking thing, dude. I don't want to read all sorts of bullshit. Fuck this analysis, dude. I don't want to read like fucking 2 sides of bullshit. What is this? So, Beersheba, Sharon, Jerusalem, Negev, Amman. These are places of arrivals, I suppose. Actual track, assumed track. This is Nevatim and Ramon. And then this was hit, and this was hit in the Golan Heights. Okay, and Beersheba. So I don't know what was hit here. So there's rumors that an HQ was hit in the Golan Heights, but we don't know, and the IDF is not saying anything. They don't want us to know, dude. This is some bullshit where the IDF soldiers just dug it up manually. Look at no damage here. Okay. This is a Chinese drone, boys. Hey, Slavic Slav. The stratosphere, okay. The ionosphere is 50 kilometers. Okay. Okay. Philippine reporter captured the flight of the Chinese reconnaissance drone Wushen 7. 55 kilometers from the city of Subic. Is this a reconnaissance drone, dude? Why is it doing a trail? Okay. China Army. This is a channel about the Chinese army, dude. Should I follow this, dude? I don't mind this at all. Heat traps. Air defense, I think. Is this worth following, Sibuski? Bam.
3, 2, 1, now. Article taken out.
Goodbye, America. See you, boys. Upsilon, Ubitsam, Smurf. Using bots like this, I feel like makes so much sense, dude. I know, it sucks. It fucking sucks, dude. Because the more disconnected you are from the battlefield, the less emotions there is, dude. the less humane it is. What, dude? Fake Chinese. Fake fucking Chinese, dude. Wait, is this something else? Joint exercise between America and the Philippines. What the shit? Yeah. Iran overview of influence in the Middle East. Okay. So we got Hezbollah, Hamas. I don't know what the fuck that is doing. Iraq, okay. We got part of Yemen. Why is that red, dude? I thought the Houthis had like the entire section here, including the bottom. I realized they don't have this. I'm just checking this channel, see if it's worth following, dude. That's a satellite. That's a fucking satellite, boys. I think. In 2018, a contract was signed for a supply of 76 Su-57 by 2028. I found information that of December 2023, the UAC company fulfilled its obligation and delivered to the Minister of Defense all the aircraft planned for this year. The exact number is not specified. In 2024, the number of aircraft delivered will increase to 22. The remaining 54 will be delivered in 2025. Do we know, boys, how many F-35s there is in total worldwide? Do we know? You know what? I'm gonna try to follow this channel. We got Russia at the UN talking about sanctions on Israel.
Единственным способом остановить разрастание катастрофы в Газе является незамедлительное и повсеместное прекращение огня для обеспечения безопасного и беспрепятственного гуманитарного доступа ко всем нуждающимся газовитянам, а также для предотвращения угрозы дальнейшего расширения масштабов кризиса. Резолюция Совета Безопасности 2728 оказалась явно недостаточна. Она просто не выполнялась. Рамадан прошел, и вопрос о долгосрочном установлении огня снова встает со всей остротой. Исходим из того, что Совет Безопасности ООН вернется к его рассмотрению уже в самое ближайшее время. Еще раз напоминаем, невыполнение обязательных к выполнению резолюций Совета Безопасности должно вести к введению санкций против нарушителей. Мы считаем, что Совет должен рассмотреть этот вопрос безотлагательно.
What he said is, the only way to stop the catastrophe unfolding in Gaza remains an immediate and widespread ceasefire to ensure safe and unimpeded humanitarian access to Gazans in need and to prevent the threat of further expansions of the crisis. Security Council Resolution 2728 was clearly not enough. It was simply not implemented. Ramadan has passed and the question for a long-term ceasefire is once again very acute. We assume that the UN Security Council will return to considerations if the near future. We recall once again, failure to implement binding Security Council resolutions should lead to the imposition of sanctions against the violator. We believe that the Council should consider this issue without delay. 1,000 plus for the F-35s. You are behind Cleglock. So, and that means Probably about 250 operational or something. Worldwide, that is. Some are in Europe, some are in the Middle East, some are in America. But nevertheless, you are behind, Clicklock. You need hundreds, dude. Or thousands. Look, boys, Georgia. This is where Sibushk comes into play, dude. The Prime Minister of Georgia called the President of the country a foreign agent. Salome Saroshvili is an agent of foreign influence, and accordingly, she represents a foreign power, a party to the global war, which we already talked about several times, said Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze. They have vowed to veto the law on foreign agents if approved. It was adopted today in the first reading of the parliament. Nice, dude. Sibushk. China unveils world's smallest anti-armor missile, QN-202. Alrighty. So, in order for me to show you this, it's very tough. We need scale, dude. It looks thin. Okay. I don't know. Dart. Alright. We covered this one. I'm deleting that. Bam. Then we got the Mariupol, marking a significant milestone in its recovery. This is an arena in Mariupol that was rebuilt. And Ukraine and America and Israel are jealous. Ice arena. I want to see it inside, boys. I don't have that. The Israeli occupation forces assault a Palestinian youth while detaining him in Betunia town west of Ramallah. I don't want to see that bullshit, dude. Fucking hate watching the bullshit, dude. We got a kid who is being saved from under the rubble. I can see there is shit there I don't want to show, dude. There's shit there I don't want to show. Fucking always, dude. We got a 20-day-old baby. God damn it, dude. Can it even open the eyes, dude? It doesn't even look like it can open the eyes, dude. Jesus. So, the red hive are not really red. Hey, Ace Ventura. I feel like genetically engineering it is a cheat, dude. Upsilon. Hey Rosplov. How are you doing, dude? How is St. Petersburg? This is Dimona nuclear center in Israel. There is supposedly a hit here. I showed you this a few days ago. We've seen before and after footage. It does look like there's a black spot here. If Iran hit this, they did it very carefully to kind of say, hey, we can fucking hit whatever, dude. This is all assumptions. It's very low resolution, so can't really like assess it completely. We got Biden, probably being Biden here. Huh?
Was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community. I had a very close relationship with the Greek American community, for real. I am Joe Bidenopoulos. I grew up in a heavily Irish Catholic community in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and a heavily Italian Polish community. When I say I got raised in the black church.
Just a fucking liar, dude. The American media, they would call Biden a liar back in the day.
Persian culture is amazing. As a student of the Persian culture, I probably went to shul more than many of you. I come out of the black community. The background of my family is Irish American, not fundamentally unlike the Palestinian people. You might say raised in the synagogues of my state. Everyone in town was either Polish or Italian. I grew up feeling self-conscious. My name didn't end in an SKI. I was raised in a neighborhood where I felt self-conscious. My name didn't end in O. Just like rabbis, synagogues, and Jewish community centers in your hometowns, and that's the tradition.
Hey, C-Def. How are you doing, Ben?
I got raised. Hard-working people, the middle class, the neighborhoods I got raised in. I was raised by a righteous Christian.
This is nuts, dude. There's many videos with Biden where he just does like a sequence of him, a compilation of him lying, dude. French court orders 4G antenna switch off for cow health. What is insane, Uppsala? What is insane about this is that this is 4G, not 5G.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was excuse me.
Hey Ding Dangler, what's up? Uppsala has given me links about how these antennas, they can cause harm and shit like that. They can be like aimed. So when people go with like measuring devices to the antenna, they might not measure something, but the device can be turned on and off. And if you're not measuring during the right moment, you're not gonna get a reading. But this is the code in France, dude. And this is 4G, not 5G. And this is not the only instance of this. There's people who have got like fucking burn marks and shit. Yes, Rosplov. You know what? This is a situation where I'm like curious, what does Russia do? Does Russia implement unhealthy antennas? What do they do? Yeah, Red Heifer. I think. Smurf, I heard that the antennas can be like passive and not really do that much damage. But when they're like weaponized, they can do a lot of damage. That's why you have people going to the antennas and measuring nothing. But I've seen like fucking birds, insects, animals, people suffering. And Silla also sent me data where you see a woman who like fucking her leg is fucking burned, dude. $5G is way worse. With the 5Gs, I think it can direct and be way more focused on one spot instead of just spreading it out, dude. But like I said, I'm curious about Russia. Would Russia just, we're gonna implement unhealthy antennas so we can have Wi-Fi and 4G? Would they do that? Would China do this? China have 5G. China has 5.5G, and is it just as unhealthy? I'm really curious. I'm using 5G on my phone, Salman. It works fine, dude. Yeah, it goes everywhere, Smurf. Fucking everywhere, dude. But if this is unhealthy, what about China? How are they dealing with it, dude? Then we got Zelensky's wife reacting very strangely to a journalist's question. What have Ukrainian family lost? She smiled, rolled her eyes, shook her head. Anything but sympathy.
What have the families of Ukraine lost?
Oh, dude. Fucking evil motherfucker, dude. Evil motherfucker, dude. She knows exactly. She's looking at the camera fucking guilty as shit, dude. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Do I say this or do I say that, dude? Evil. This is Zelensky's wife. She's involved in child trafficking, dude. She has like a foundation.
Мені здається, на це питання неможливо відповісти коротко.
Just answer it long then. You can just do a long answer. If you don't want to do a short one, then do a long one. It's easy.
Ви просили, відповідь має бути довга, але перелічувати всі ці втрати.
So they have lost their fucking husbands, dude. The dads are lost. Their pensions are gone. Their economy is destroyed. Their farmland is gone, dude. What haven't they lost, dude? The families are destroyed. The government took everything. The pensions are gone. The banks are owned by the West. Farm are owned by the West. I got a video about Russia and Tajikistan conducting a large-scale joint maneuvers. Okay? Training exercise. So Tajikistan and Russia. You realize the importance of this, right? Because Tajiks were involved in the Krokus attack. Obviously the government might not be involved. That's very different, right? What does it say? Kitak? Gitak. It's a computer manufacturing company that makes like small laptops. Why are Gitak laptops so expensive? Internal components are protected because the chassis is also made of magnesium cases. So this is like military grade laptops, I think. Hey Panamera.
Метровой реактивной системы залпового огня «Град». Также на огневые позиции.
Really? She was afraid of it, dude.
В ходе артиллерийской подготовки наступления ведется.
You heard about them changing so the people served no longer get home after 36 months of service. Ukraine if we're talking about Ukraine, you bits, Ukraine is not doing demobilization. They canceled that. don't think I will be good at using a controller like that, dude. It's too fiddly. I need a mouse and a keyboard, dude. There was a guy there. I need a fucking mouse and a keyboard. I can't use a controller. No spring offensive from Ukraine this year? No. Well, maybe. You never know, dude.
При захвате преступников или террористов.
Е-55, я рекрут 01.
Прием. Рекрут 01, я Смоленск 15, штиль 33, понял, выполняю, прием.
Исходя из складывающейся обстановки, в последние годы нами на регулярной основе проводится ряд масштабных учений с привлечением подразделений Центрального военного округа, 201-й российской военной базы, а также сил и средств коллективной безопасности ОДКБ. Двухсторонние учения с участием военных подразделений двух стран, которые мы сегодня завершаем, также стали традиционным и проводятся уже не в первый раз.
Сегодня мы завершили совместное учение подразделений 201-й военной базы Вооруженных сил Российской Федерации и подразделений Вооруженных сил Республики Таджикистан. В течение недели наши воины совместно плечом к плечу выполняли учебно-боевые задачи, поставленные командованием. В ходе выполнения задач особое внимание было обращено на внедрение новых форм и способов, исходя из опыта современных войн, современных средств вооруженного противоборства. Все задачи были выполнены успешно, точно и в срок.
Спасибо.
Младшего сержанта Карасева Сергея.
младшего сержанта Акиулова Марата Насировича.
Alrighty. Alright. Hi, boss. How are you doing? It would be cool having an FPV drone where you could use mouse and keyboard, dude. That would be cool. Iran has identified the location of all Israeli nuclear facilities and is ready to strike them at any moment in case of aggression by Tel Aviv. Balls? Please turn on the UN news. Oh, she stopped. Iran carried out its strikes on Israel using outdated missiles. Okay. I'm gonna delete this one.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
This is a guy from Iran, and he is saying, this is the commander of the Nuclear Protection Corps. It is possible that if Israel continues its threats, we will build atomic bombs. Okay? We got an Israeli MP here saying, third temple will be constructed soon at the site of Al-Aqsa Mosque in occupied Jerusalem. Fuad. This will lead to escalations in the Middle East, though. He urged Jews to perform the Passover sacrifice. Okay? US imposes new Iran-related sanctions targeting UAV program, steel industry, and auto companies, according to US Treasury Department. Britain has added Iranian Navy to the Iranian Armed Forces General Staff to its sanctions, and that guy, okay? And the US also did sanctions, right? 16 individuals and 2 legal entities. I don't know with who they were, whatever. Argentina applied to join NATO. Argentina applied to join NATO. Right? Biden.
And I made it clear to Israelis, don't move on Haifa. It's just not, I mean, anyway, I just, look what we did recently.
What?
When Israel was attacked.
I made it clear to Israel. Iran did very well because Israel has the most defense-air defense used. Yes. Yes, seriously. They did very well, though. Estonia. If the Russian Federation attacks Estonia, we will destroy the infrastructure in Avangorod. Okay. Palestinian drowned while trying to get aid. They were stopped by planes near the sea. Of course, dude. Fucking of course.
This is the people of Gaza. You can see how much dangerous the situation here. They are just literally dying to get the aid.
And the aid is fucked, dude. The aid is fucked, dude.
الله يكدلهم بالبحر وقع نهيل هي الشمال فاضي ما يرموا بالشمال عند دورنا طلع رمى الكرتون عشان يطلع صاحبه
ايش السبب بخليك تنزل تاخذ هاي المساعدات من البحر يعني؟
مش حدا
خطر طيب
نور ابغى مهلي
That yellow teeth? I don't know. Like the two first. I don't know though. This is a video showing the refueling of an Iranian Nasir naval cruise missile by the Venezuelan Navy. What?
Estamos en la base naval Agustín Armario, aquí en Puerto Cabello. Estoy con todo el Estado Mayor Superior de la Fuerza Armada Nacional Bolivariana, pasando revista a toda la capacidad misilística de la Armada Bolivariana. Un logro que vamos en pleno desarrollo y que vamos avanzando, pues, para toda la capacidad de combate de la Armada Bolivariana. El sol de Venezuela nace en el Esequibo.
¿Qué? Sí, pues que... ¿Qué? I don't know what this is.
Telling all of you, and we've told the American people, border,
Mike Johnson, obviously.
border, border. We have to effect real policy change at the border, and that is a necessary condition to anything we do going forward. We have to take care of our
Obviously, he's a fraud, dude.
border first. That's what the American people demands.
Every state in America is now a border state.
Border, border, border. How can we be engaged in securing the border of foreign countries if we can't secure our own?
We know the urgency in Ukraine. We're going to stand for freedom and make sure that Vladimir Putin doesn't march through Europe.
It's past time to secure the border.
Listen, this is a catastrophe down here.
The battle is for the border.
President Biden wants a supplemental spending bill. It better begin by defending America's national security.
Okay, these are dangerous people who are coming into the country. Over 300 known terrorists.
How can we be engaged in securing the border of foreign countries if we can't secure our own?
No, he's a fraud, Smurf. He's a fucking fraud, dude. You can see it. Yeah, he's a fucking fraud, dude. Super puss. Israeli representative at the United Nations told the truth, but by mistake.
If you count the number of UN resolutions and condemnations, it's obvious that Israel, the only vibrant liberal democracy in the Middle East, is the #1 threat to world peace.
Ha ha ha!
But we know what we are outside of this building. We know very well. And I pray here today, I pray.
He didn't correct anything, dude. What?
That one day the UN will cease its indifference, cease its lies, cease siding with terrorists. That the UN will stand by Israel's side, stand by its founding ideals. On International Holocaust Remembrance Day, the day that even the ICJ proved to the world that the lessons of the Holocaust were not learned, I stand here in the name of the state
He's wearing that fucking symbol again, dude.
of Israel, in the name of all those murdered by the Nazis and Hamas, and I swear
Nazis and Hamas, dude, man.
We will not forget. Never again is now.
Clown, dude. Fucking clown. Israel will never be forgotten, dude. Jens Stoltenberg about Ukraine, obviously.
President Zelensky has asked for a meeting on the NATO-Ukraine Council. We will convene the meeting on Friday. That will be with President Zelensky and then with NATO defense ministers to address the urgent needs for more support to Ukraine. In particular, I expect there will be a focus on air defense, as we have discussed.
Yeah, dude, you don't have any air defense, dude. That's the Danish Prime Minister, dude. Fucking frauds and clowns, dude. What is he looking at? That's the ex-Prime Minister from the Netherlands, dude. Maybe new NATO, head of NATO.
More artillery rounds.
Clowns, frauds. Adrenochrome is being distributed through a hub in the Netherlands, by the way. Super shitty country. Sticky. Thank you for the bits. Thank you so much. This Salman, very despicable situation, dude. I don't know who that is, but very despicable. Obviously, she had to sell out her soul as well, dude. Salman.
Artillery round.
The aftermath of the attack by Ukraine forces on the center of Golovka, located in the Donetsk People's Republic. 10 civilians were injured. This is a big crater, dude. Look at this damage. This is more than one HIMARS does, isn't it, dude? Maybe not. Is this vampires? Is this Golovka? I don't know. I feel like this is a lot of damage for... Maybe it was like multiples too. They don't say... Do they say what happened? The attack was deliberately carried out on a hospital and a blood transfusion station. Presumably by HIMARS. I'm gonna assume it's more than one HIMARS then. Okay. The new rules of political journalism. This is about how you refer to Israel, dude. Dishonesty is the best policy. US magazine tells journalists how to cover 2024 presidential election. Alright? The Atlantic and American News Agency published an article that urges journalists to emphasize the abnormality of Donald Trump in order to save US democracy from being crushed by authoritarianism. When covering Donald Trump's presidential campaign, journalists are encouraged to sound the alarm that none of this political stance of Trump is normal. The Atlantic also believes that any report about Biden's memory lapse must not be a bigger story than Trump's statement that may seem controversial to his audience. What the shit, dude. Election interference. Yeah, maybe Sibusk. Maybe. This is in Berlin, dude. A German man threatens to kill a Muslim woman wearing a hijab.
Hat mir gerade gedroht, mich zu schlagen.
This is the Germans are nuts, dude. The Germans are nuts. You can see even the police are nuts in Germany, dude. No fucking shame, dude. No shame. Israeli occupation delegate the Security Council. If a decision to grant full membership to Palestine Nazi state is approved, this will be a council of terrorism.
International law and the UN Charter.
He's so funny, dude. I'm so glad he's positioned there because he just shows exactly what he's for this.
Are only important when they can be weaponized against Israel. But if breaking the law means advancing the unilateral establishment of a Palestinian terror state, a Palestine Nazi state, then by all means. They're just empty words on paper, right? What this council has decided to focus on at the expense of all other calamities around the globe is to grant a prize to terrorists. Granting the perpetrators and supporters of October 7th full membership status in the UN is the vilest reward for the vilest crimes. If this resolution passes, God forbid, this council should no longer be known as the Security Council, but as the Terror Council.
This is so childish, dude. So fucking childish. I swear to God, dude. They're so fucking childish, dude. I don't know. I'm glad, dude. I'm fucking glad. You ready? Much ado about nothing. Is the US Mako missile truly hypersonic or just in name only? Siburusk. An allegedly new hypersonic American missile named after the fastest shark, Mako, has been put on display at the Sea Airspace 2024 conference. What is known about the projectile so far? Designed by Lockheed Martin, the solid fuel rocket is claimed to be capable of reaching a speed of Mach 5. It's compatible with the most US tactical aircraft, including the 5th generation F-35. It's 4 meters long, so half the size of a Kinzhal. 33 centimeter in diameter, weighs 600 kilos. The dagger is 4,000 kilos. What? 60 kilogram warhead. 300 kilometer range. What the shit, dude? This is weird, dude. What? There's many unknowns regarding the rocket, such as the type of flight profile, maneuverability. There's a suspicion whether the rocket is effective or not. A hypersonic missile executes anti-missile maneuvers at hypersonic speeds to avoid interception. Okay. It is unclear if the Mako is able to maintain hypersonic speeds throughout its final phase of flight. If it is unable to do so, it will be vulnerable to modern air defense systems. Okay. The Americans have not made hypersonic missiles so far. They've tested rockets that fly at maximum speed of Mach 5. The Russian Kinzhal dagger flies at speed of Mach 10-12. It has already proven effective. We saw it in action in Ukraine when it destroyed underground concrete storage facilities and obliterated Patriot missile defense systems. Okay, dude. Okay. New York police disperse and arrest pro-Palestine. What are they arrested for, dude? Yeah, I think also the Kai-Bao is faster than Mach 5, Sibush. Wiki said Mach 5, but others said Mach 8. We got this guy, the Iranian foreign minister. He's saying, he's in New York. The situation in Gaza has reached a boiling point. In a meeting with the Secretary General of the United Nations and foreign counterparts, we will discuss the immediate cessation of the war and the sending of humanitarian aid in order to get out of this situation. Okay? Cool. Very cool.